You are now listening to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
My name is DJ Vince Adams. I absolutely appreciate what the Chicago Clubhouse crew is doing for the city of Chicago.
Hey, young world, what's good? It's your boy Bernard Varian, a.k.a. B Twice.
What up? This is Rasheed Davis, former Chicago Bear wide receiver.
Hey, my name is Lemuel Stinson, a.k.a. Lemonade, formerly of the Chicago Bears.
What's up? My name is C.J. Watson, former Bulls guard and bench farm creator.
This is two-time six-man all-star baller Ricky Deuces Pierce.
What's up, people? This is Chicago radio legend Rick Party, the voice you hear everywhere.
My name is Pee-wee from the movie House Party.
This is Megan Martinez from the Good and Funny podcast.
Hey, this is Bubba Ball from the Shits podcast.
Hey, this is Nika from One Shot Wellness, repping from the ATL, dropping some drips on that Chi-Town Clubhouse podcast.
This is Sherry, and you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
You are now rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
You're now rocking with Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
And you're rocking with the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast.
Where they think they know everything.
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 But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit.
But they don't know shit. But they really don't know shit. But they really don't know shit.
But they really don't know shit.
But honestly, they don't know shit.
And I smell something. I smell podcast. The Chicago Clubhouse Podcast Show.
They really don't know shit.
You already know what time it is.
You see this Eddie Jackson jersey right here? Take this.
This dude literally just took my soul.
So I didn't like playing with Brett Favre at all.
You could have waited until the draft if you wanted to look at another quarterback. You didn't have to sign Andy Dalton, who is really nothing but a backup.
Evander Holyfield is 58 years old. What you want to fight a 58-year-old man?
Well, man, he wants to keep fighting.
Because he want to fight him. Okay, it's an exhibition.
But yeah, it's an exhibition because, you know.
This ain't Drago and Apollo Creed, man. Ain't nobody about to.
Man, Martin and Tommy Hearns was an exhibition. You saw what happened to Martin.
This could hurt.
Thanks, Hayden. Nothing but the best.
Okay.
All right.
That bro tough for real, man.
Yeah, man. He like tougher than some grown folks I know, man.
That as a coach, your job is to give your players the best opportunity to have success.
Michael Jordan, when he came back at LeBron James' age, he was a straight up nothing.
That is blasphemy on his computer right now.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Without Dennis Rodman, I couldn't see them winning like they did those second three championships. I can't see it.
I agree.
And now I'm the voice of SportsCenter on ESPN. Now on SportsCenter. Tonight, LeBron James. And whatever.
Do you guys really coach how exactly to tackle correctly? Because I see it almost a week now. People cannot tackle like they did whenever you guys played. But do you guys practice tackling at all?
What up? Welcome to the podcast where we think we know everything, but we don't know shit. And we really don't know shit, but we do know they put the pads on today. That's when the real training starts. Everybody look good, you know, without pads and catching passes and throwing passes, but they put the pads on today. So we gonna see some real shit. I'm going to practice tomorrow. And I can't wait. You know, I mean, I know they're not going to go full speed or anything, but they still got those pads on. You know, people don't run 4.2 and, you know, 4.25 when they got pads on. It's just a little different. There is a regular speed and then there is football speed. So there's it's two different things, but we gonna see. We gonna see, and I can't wait. So today we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of podcasts too. We got my man G Sizzle from the Sizzle podcast, the talk of the 219. That's Indiana. If y'all didn't know, that's Indiana. Yeah. They watch football over there too. They got the Colts, but okay, I'm not gonna say anything about that. But we are happy to have G Sizzle, and we will talk to him in a minute. And then later, of course, we're gonna have the homeboy, our Chicago guy, Herb Howard, the beat reporter from the Bigs, the beat reporter for the Bears. He will be on later, and we will definitely unpack everything that is going on with the Chicago Bears, including kind of a disappointment. Tevin Jenkins. We all expected that, after he healed up, because that was kind of strike one, that he was drafted hurt, but that's what Brian Pace does. He drafts hurt players. I don't know why the fuck he do that. But we all kind of cheered for him and expected him to heal up and kind of fill the void in the offensive line, but it's not really panning out. And since Poles didn't draft him, he don't give a fuck about trading him. He don't give a fuck about that. So we're going to talk about all that shit. But first, let me bring in my guys, man. Let me bring in my all-star team. First man up, my man who knows every single stat from every single team since the 80s and 90s, basketball and football. My man JB.
What up, T? All right. What's up, y'all? What's up going on?
Shit, I can't call it, man. Just good to be back on here with the guys, man. Good to be back on here. I missed last week.
Man, it was a different day without you, like it always is, man. For those that have been asking, no theme music today. I'm a little upset because of what I saw. T, kind of what you talking about in House also. I'm not feeling very heroic today.
What's up, B?
What's going on, B? I'm not feeling very heroic today, so no theme music.
Oh today. No, why not? Why not? You got one of your wings broken or something?
No, it's just just watching and when you hit me with the Tevin Jenkins, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, man, not another high-profile, high-price draft pick, basically wasted, or is going to be shipped somewhere else where he's actually probably going to be good. So,
yeah, man, that's a disappointment. A lot of us didn't expect it, and people that said, "I knew this was going to happen," you lying, y'all lying. You were rooting for Tevin Jenkins to fill that void. Almost every Chicago Bears fan was. So if you say, "I knew this was going to happen," you lying. Stop lying. It's not good for your health. All right, so let me bring in the next all-star, my man, who probably has the foulest mouth in Chicago. My man, Foul Mouth C.
What up?
Foul Mouth.
What's going on, fellas?
What up with you, man?
Come on, see.
Said nothing about to watch the Sox blow this motherfucking lead.
I mean, you haven't seen that before?
I have. I'm tired of seeing the shit. Not from a team that's supposed to be the World Series contender.
Hey, it's like right when we get ready to get 500 or better, we can't keep it or stay there.
That's like a rerun. I mean, they do that a lot. They blow lead. Actually, all Chicago teams do that a lot. They blow leads. Speaking of blowing leads, let me lead with the last all-star, the rookie. Well, he's not a rookie anymore. I can't call him rookie anymore.
All right.
No, but let's bring him in, my man, Frank, the Equalizer, the Tank.
That was like the most depressing shit when you decided to bring me on right there.
What you mean?
Like you said the low end. So let me introduce our next guest. It's just like really. It's just like I'm the low ball here.
I was trying to find like a segue, but I couldn't really. So
that was a depressing segue.
That's what I came up with. That's what I came up with. My bad, man. I tried to make it sound good though.
Yeah, I like the equalizer part. That kind of brought the joy a little bit back. But then bringing up, gotta love that they're in full pads now. That is, you just go from so happy, and then you just got the torch passed down from the marshmallow Eddie Jackson to now to Jenkins.
Why you gotta say that name, man?
Because that's not a swear word to me yet. That's
but you know what?
That was a welcome back for you. He's looking good though in training camp.
I'm about to say we can't call him marshmallow yet. He might be.
They're only doing flag football tackles, so I mean we don't.
Yeah,
know.
but now we're putting the pads on.
Agreed.
Now we're putting the pads on. So if Eddie Jackson is looking like the old Eddie Jackson, who's gonna be surprised?
Yeah, I mean I agree with what. I agree with what JB said too, man. Like Jenkins good. Jenkins got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of ceiling. Just shut the hell up and play football, man.
Please.
Stop
making cereal.
Yeah, like
stop making that fucking nasty ass cereal. Hey, Mom. How you doing, Mom? So we gonna bring in our guy. Straight from Gary, Indiana. As I said, they watch football there, but he watches the winner. Well, actually, I can't even call the Bears a winner right now. I can't even call them that. But I will say it's a new regime. So we're not going to call them losers. We're going to give them a clean slate.
Like that?
Because it's totally new.
As of right now, they're all winners.
Nothing. We can't compare. We cannot compare this team to last year under the old regime with the coach's name that I'm not going to say and Ryan Pace.
We got plenty of nicknames for that mother.
Yeah, we can't compare apples to oranges. So we're going to give them a clean slate. But, I mean, Gary, Indiana, they
I mean, Gary kind of claims Chicago, right? A little bit.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, shit. I can throw a rock and then land in Gary. Shit.
It's a good arm, man. You got a good arm.
If I can throw a rock and land it in Gary, I should be playing for the White Sox.
Yeah, you probably be. Our pitching isn't the issue right now.
Help.
If you could hit a rock to Gary, then maybe we'll sign you up because these bastards can't hit a home run.
So let's bring in our guy and quit bumping our gums so he can bump his. My man, G Sizzle.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Hey, boy.
What is good? You know who it is. It's G Sizzle from the Sizzle, the 219, where, yes, we watch the Bears. In fact, it's all Bears, all Sox, all Cubs, all Bulls. I think I was in junior high when I found out that Indiana even had a football team. Yeah.
Indiana doesn't got a hockey team, Sizzle.
Well, they don't need one, actually. But after what I've been watching with the Blackhawks, I don't know. Maybe they do.
Rebuild, unfortunately. Yeah. It's a rebuild.
So, Sizzle, what do you think about the Bears in this training camp?
Well,
do you give them a clean slate, first of all?
They have to get a clean slate. You have a whole new staff, and you've got everyone who's – what amazes me is everyone is so upset that, Justin Fields, he's not ready. He's going to be terrible. It'll be horrible. I mean, the kid has just started playing. After last year, you should be lucky that he even comes back on the field. He almost got killed.
A trade, for God's sakes, if he wanted to.
In Cleveland, he almost got killed. Yeah. And so moving forward, when you look at what's going on right now, the biggest thing is back to what you guys were saying earlier. The issue is you have one of your second-round picks that's now being put in the draft hopper. You got a guy where you already are deficient on the line. Now you're talking about getting rid of your right tackle, right guard, left tackle, whatever he is. if it's that bad, if the back is that bad, or if he's that bad, if his attitude is that bad, then there's a problem. And I think you might want to cut bait if it's good enough right now, if you have to. But I think that's the biggest issue right now. And the fact that for some reason I saw Eddie Jackson's jersey get balled up. I don't know real history about that. But.
Yeah, that shit goes.
He's got a good history with Eddie Jackson.
Okay.
Been going on for a while now.
Okay.
So, Sizzle, let me ask you this then, since we opened up the can of worms about the offensive line. Now, with Tevin Jenkins being in his, we're calling this his second year, but like Justin, this is really his first rookie year all over again. So, do you think it's really that the kid forgot from OSU to now how to play football, or is there somewhere in the dynamic of maybe the line coaching or something? Is the game a little too fast for him? Because I'm sorry, but in a game where you just have to be bigger than a person, I like Tevin Jenkins and I like our chances with him because he showed he has that nasty. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that? Because I'm personally not ready to cancel the check on him.
For some reason, Ryan Poles has been ready to cancel the check on. It seems weird. It seems like when he came in, there was an issue. And I think there's something that he saw as a former lineman, offensive lineman. Now, I can't speak to offensive lineman. My radio partner, Jay Sizzle, can, because he played offensive lineman. And he was I think, and he's at De La Salle's Hall of Fame, I believe. Right. So, I mean, he knows. But as a defensive lineman, when I look at what's going on with Tevin Jenkins, I think he was already put into a bad position because if you want the kid to win, you probably move him into right tackle. And if right tackle isn't working, if you saw earlier that he was getting beat all the time at right tackle, then you move him over to guard and then you make it work that way. We saw that happen with another Bear who has legacy, has lineage. And you saw what happened when you started playing around with him on the line and moving him from here to there.
Are you speaking of Kyle Long?
Yes, sir. The one could have been a Bears all-time great, could have been someone that you talk about in the pantheon of great Bears linemen. But you move him around.
Matter of fact, he made a Pro Bowl as I think he was a swing position, but mostly a guard.
A guard, yeah.
Did he make it at guard or was it at tackle? I
thought it was at guard because he was a swing. He was a swing that year. He played like all up and down the right side of the line.
Right.
And that was the year he made it. Matt Forte, Alshon Jeffrey, and Brandon Marshall, I believe.
You know, it's funny. We were talking about before the show. We were talking about a list, and we had a pre-list a couple of months ago. We were talking about some of the best Bears running backs in the history of the Bears. And it's amazing to me how always Matt Forte gets overlooked as one of the most dynamic Bears running backs of all time.
Overlooked by who?
Oh, overlooked by a large majority. Now, outside of Chicago, we know what he offers. But if you go around, you're like, oh, Matt Forte, he was okay. No, Matt Forte was more than
okay. First of all, anybody that says that, just stop talking to them right then and there. Like,
that deserves a Will Smith slap right there.
Because everybody knows whether you're a Bear fan, a Chicago fan, or just a student of the game watching football. Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, Matt Forte, in that order. If anybody ever disputes that, you do not know football.
I am. You know what? I have to have you on the show so that you can repeat that line because that was my 3 lineup, and everybody wanted to assault me, and I was like, I don't care. It's still going to be my lineup, and that's going to work. And you got to start putting together things that win. So the question is, right now, if you've got a rookie quarterback, because I'll say he's a rookie. I'll say after last year, that was a disaster. So you got a rookie quarterback with a rookie line, rookie receivers. Your whole offensive side are all first-time rookies. They're all. This is the first time they've all been together, except for 3 players you brought in on the line. If this is the question, how bad are things with Tevin Jenkins at this point that you got to talk about trading him as you start camp and you just put on pads?
Like, I don't know if it's like maybe a work ethic. Like maybe he's just not the type of person who likes to be told what to do. It's not the type of person who likes to doesn't like people trying to push him too hard. Because if it's one thing that this new regime, especially this new coaching staff, has said, we're going to push your asses hard. You guys are going to attack the balls. You're going to attack everything, not just one person. Everybody is going to attacking them. So maybe Jenkins is just turning into a little fluff ball. And he's just I didn't see him that way coming out of the draft. I'm with JB on that one when it's the nastiness, when he stuck up for his quarterback, and then that other piece of shit Marshmallow that we had in the team last year slapped him upside the head and told him to get away. That's what I want from my offensive linemen, to actually stick up for their quarterback and get in people's face. It's just, you just don't know what is really the issue with him. And there's nobody who knows other than the people in that locker room.
Well, it's kind of crazy because what you're hearing is that he doesn't want to be a swing tackle. And we haven't heard anything on the Bears side. We haven't heard anything from him. So everything right now is just all speculation, talking about all the Bears are talking about trade. First of all, you don't do that. You're dealing with a kid that, he's fresh out of college. So you're trying to see what it is. Attitudes, we get that. He's a kid. He's going to be immature. I mean, we got to remember that this kid is 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
So we expect him to be a little bit, immature. But also, people have to also realize is this, and I think that he's upset about it. Matt Eberflus and this regime is trying to change the culture or whatnot. And I believe they're trying to be hard on the players, which is, I get that. But you don't want to do it to a point where you start alienating guys. John has set up there and he has said that some months ago, he was talking about them, with a whole philosophy of talking about they don't care who it is, veterans, guys that's been in the league 8 to 10 years, your ass gonna hustle, put on your running shoes. And from what we've been hearing, all the little reports and stuff is that he didn't like the fact that he got demoted.
It's life, dude.
Put him in different positions that he probably doesn't feel comfortable in. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Did he ever play fucking guard in college?
No,
he was always tackle.
He was right tackle primarily at a All-American level, and then at times he would go to left tackle.
Right. And see, that's the problem right there. That might be a problem in itself because as you see sometimes very much more so in college than in the pros, you see guys where they move guys into different positions that they have never played to try to get lightning in a bottle, as John would say, and that's not a good thing. If you drafted his ass to be a left or right tackle, then let him be that. Don't try to move his ass to guard at a position that he's never fucking played.
But I mean, again, I've never played offensive line, and if somebody has, please come in and let me know this one. But is there a tackle to a guard? Is that a big transition? I could see a guard to a tackle being a big that is a big transition.
Two totally different worlds.
Okay, yeah, I never played the offensive line. I don't know,
especially in the zone scheme when you have the drop and drag. It may look like, dude, just switch your position, switch your feet, and block. Trust me, they're two different worlds.
Then I'll shut up about that one because that one I didn't know. That one I didn't know.
I want to say one of our compatriots, Brandon, played offensive line, but I know this to be more than true over the course of the years. Sizzle, you said something very telling about the offense itself being primarily rookie-laden or first-year guys, right?
Right.
Veterans that we have, especially with our offensive, those veterans that we have were never number ones. They were never thrust into the number one role, such as a Byron Pringle or such as a Equinemius St. Brown, right? But how much of that leads towards the actual coaching staff too? Because I kind of liken that to the similarities of being at a school. A new administration, new principal, new assistant principal, what have you, may come in, but you got 20-year veteran teachers. All of a sudden, you can't be this fresh, brash, know-it-all until a person has been doing it for 20 years, like we're going to reinvent the wheel. Because remember, rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator,
Rookie everything.
Rookie quarterbacks coach.
Right.
The defensive coordinator is not a rookie, but his last stint after his first thing, they were ranked 30th with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he's getting a new shot. You know, everybody, I think the special teams guy is new. So it's like, while they're trying to paint this picture of reviving or actually not even reviving, they're probably trying to start a different culture here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what they do, those pieces that are circular trying to fit in that square hole throughout life never works.
Right.
And that's what I see a lot of right now, because remember, just a couple of weeks ago, we were all happy like, man, Braxton Jones, Southern Utah, killer.
Mm-hmm.
That was that long.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really know what's going on either. They're just trying to see who fits too.
That's also where I'm going with Jenkins too, though. Like you still weren't even in pads. Jalen Johnson was demoted to the second team. You didn't see him go cry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because you were demoted does not mean when the regular season starts, you're not going to be at the spot you want. This is a new regime. This is a new everything. They are trying everything different. But if you're going to go cry about it, and Poles has already pretty much proved the fact of this, he ain't going to take your shit. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care. If you're going to cry about it, I'll ship your ass out and I'll find a new person.
He seems to be an old school coach, and we all know, we all here have played sports on some level.
Mm-hmm.
When you're when you come from, I'm gonna just lump all of us together, a certain era where, let's say, if we're playing basketball, I could play for Bobby Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Could you?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody?
No.
If we went for football, I could play for Coach Dicker.
Correct.
But now in this generation and day and age of a participation trophy, it's like, man, you got an old school coach with old school values, and you hurt somebody's feelings. Now that kid's not going to play for you. He's not going to participate. He's not going to practice hard. And that's not saying an indictment on his talent,
mm-hmm.
but it's like this: you practice how you play. So that old school regime, you kind of have to meet. You're not gonna just meet them halfway at that point. You have to prove, like, hey, just like you're coming in as a first-time coach trying to tell, well, if you don't like the way I'm doing it, help me get better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that right now, because I see a lot of proving from that front office on down. I see a ton of proving that needs to go on. Case in point, how do we know that Ryan Poles doesn't look at things from an offensive lineman's position with a chip on his shoulder because he didn't make it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to kind of, stop putting the cart before the horse, because we don't have, he's a rookie GM. We don't have any insight to who really Ryan Poles is. We don't.
Right. There's no track record of what he does.
But when you look in the media and you say, oh, he's associated with winning because of what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
But we all know that's not. Hey, if I was the 18th man on the Bulls rosters in the 90s, hell, I got some rings, but I didn't do shit.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, Brandon came up with, I just saw it come across a good
Can
text.
we put that back up, please, Frank?
Where we were talking about, and he was saying the difference. It is a huge difference between tackle and guard, that transition to kick in. But if I'm correct, and please correct me if I'm wrong, when there was the rookie mini camps, or when they came in for voluntary camps, what we were told is that Jenkins was being beat on the outside.
Correct.
He was being beat on the outside by guys who were undrafted free agents who were coming in, who are signing in. So even though it's a big transition and it is a huge move, and no, we don't believe everything we read, because I know Brandon had talked about that earlier, and Skylark had talked about it. You got to be careful, as you said, JB. You can't just take everything you've heard or everything one side has said. In totality, you have to look at both sides. But the question is, at this point, when it comes to what's going on with Tevin Jenkins, is it that they are making a decision based on haste now, or are they making a calculated decision by what they've actually seen day to day with him, and him not making that transition? Because JB, to your point, We all could play for coaches. I know, Frank, you said you couldn't, but
Bobby Knight was different. I didn't want to get hit in the back of the head with a chair.
Yeah, but we knew how not to get hit in the back of the head.
We knew what not to do to push his buttons too.
Yeah, I mean, you knew what he was going to throw a chair at you for.
I
we
went through my
lived in
college
that
career
zone.
playing for a coach like that too. Like it's a different game nowadays. And
Okay, so Christian, that just put it up. Brandon Morgan. Right now, I want Brandon to talk because that is one person I know that has played all 5 positions on the offensive line and defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And the transition, like we spoke about, Sizzle, it's apples to oranges. It really is.
It is.
It really is. But what Christian just said, if they really did try to break him, he's broken.
Oh, yeah.
But are you the regime that's able to put him back together to be solid? At this point, that Hall of Fame talk, that's done. Now we just want him to be serviceable to a point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now we still, with these injuries that we're having as of late, now we're getting into that depth conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God forbid, love you all recruits to death, want you on the show. I don't want to see Sam Mustipher starting on that line.
I don't want to see Sam Mustipher.
I would
do
rather see a
anything.
rookie.
No, I don't want to see him do anything else for the Bears except maybe assistant coaching. Maybe that could help. Maybe helping as a trainer, but not as a player on that line. When you talk about footwork and you're talking about just the numbers and length, it's 6'2". If you can't guard your position, and that was one of his problems coming out of Notre Dame, you cannot handle that nose that's coming up. I can say it, Jay and I'm 6'5" and almost 400 pounds. There's no way that Sam Mustipher could stop me right now if I came straight up the A gap or the B gap. Mm-hmm. And if that is the problem, and that's what you're having as a continued problem, then no, it's no need to have you out there. And there was a good point that was just made. If his footwork is shot,
that was our offensive lineman, Brandon Morgan. Yes.
If his confidence is shot and his footwork is shot, then it's time to move on. Because now, to your point, JB, I don't know if they can rebuild. I don't know if they have the time to be this squad that can rebuild, because you're a rookie squad. You got to come in firing on all cylinders from the beginning, because everybody said this is probably going to be the worst season ever. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be, the Bears going to go 0-19.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
It's going to be terrible. Oh my God. Justin just dropped another pass. He did this. He did. And you're just like, okay, all right.
Starting to sound like Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, dude, can everybody
the one who runs out in the back of the end zone thinking that somebody's right in his face when they're like 10 yards away.
Hey, Ghost is I'm
about to say the footsteps.
The footsteps are real, baby. They're Ghost. You hear something, you're like, what? No. Oh,
hey, Chris, I still
Dan Orlovsky's most successful thing was happy.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, you got to figure out something. So at this point, the question is, you're even looking at what's going. You got David Montgomery now taking reps with special teams. Mm-hmm. You're seeing that this club is doing. They're throwing everything out the window now. They're trying everything they can, and offensively, I think you can survive on defense. You can always survive on defense. Absolutely. As long as you have competent safeties who know nobody can get over the top, and you got corners who at least can fight you, and you got a good outside wheel backer who can come in every once in a while and disrupt, you can survive on defense. Offense is the question right now in the NFC, where you're saying, are they good enough? Are they? And I believe they're better than the Panthers, the Commanders. I believe there are teams they're better than. They're better than the Jets. They're better than a lot of teams that have not been poo-poo like the Bears.
You mean with that Jaguars?
I'm not ready to say that just yet.
I'd say they're about at the same.
Them close, yeah.
I can say they're
level at each other,
even.
But I think if they're running
back, I want to know what side
you
on before you keep going. I want to know what side you're on that, because again, you just said something that sparked an interesting conversation of note.
Mm-hmm.
Is this their version of shaking things up, or is this their version of scurrying and throwing shit to the wall to see what sticks? Because some of that stuff, like if David Montgomery is my Jonathan Taylor to Eberflus, I'm not putting that man on special teams. I can't afford to get him hurt because that might be all we have.
Right.
I don't know what the hell they doing. First of all, it sounds like if you doing that shit, it sounds like you running this shit like this is fucking freshman year, like you're a freshman team.
Try out for
high
everything.
school. Like, we don't know what they're gonna do. Let's put their ass in there. Hell, let's throw Montgomery at fucking quarterback and shit. Pump your motherfucking brakes, man. Like, hey.
Now, if he does something,
like this, is my thing. You a fucking coach, right?
Right.
You've been in the fucking NFL, right?
Right.
You know what the fuck these players can do. You ain't coming in this motherfucker like you ain't got no film on their ass. You got film on it. You know David Montgomery's a fucking beast when he's running the ball. You know Justin Fields is a fucking is a good ass quarterback. You know the line is shaky. You know what these players do. You know their ins and outs, their strengths and their weaknesses. Shit, it's just like fucking game planning on a fucking Sunday for a fucking team. Go to the fucking film and watch what the fuck they can do. This shit is not fucking freshman high school football.
This is why I
Don't
can't
throw
watch
your
this shit at
fucking
work.
running back in a fucking special teams for fucking what?
You know what, JB? To answer your question now, after I've heard that, now I think I have a better side. I think right now they're playing to show that they're a competent bunch of whoever they are, coordinators, coaches. And so I don't know if it's about training right now. I don't know if it's about elevating the level of play. It's about finding those 53 men that can play and win you some games. And where this becomes dangerous is you just had a regime that did the same thing, that said the hell with scheme, the hell with trying to develop, the hell with whatever you thought was good. You just had a quarterback at another team who would in his media day decided to talk about his old team and what problems his head coach gave him.
Message.
And now you've got you've got the same situation because you have no stability, because as you said, everybody's new. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Nobody knows who they are and what they're going to do. And now you're at a position where the question is, are they going to get Justin Fields paid, or are they going to get him laid out on the field and killed? Because you're at one of the two positions right now. You either have to say this is going to be great, or this is just going to be some bull we put together for this year. And hopefully next year we get a high enough pick where we can get a real right and left tackle.
Or one better.
One receiver.
No. If Justin poops the bed, remember, Justin is not their quarterback.
That's right.
I'm not on that boat yet.
The $1 million question
but I'm looking
is,
at what they're doing.
Yeah.
Sizzle,
Can we get rid of him at this point now?
You feel me? And the thing is, like I keep saying, if our defense is our calling card, there were ways to address the defense like they did. And I'm happy with the first two picks. I really am.
Right.
I really am. Would I have went in a slightly different direction? Just slightly. Everybody knows I'm Brisker. When the draft first started talking Mach 1, Mach 2, Mach 3, I'm like, man, Big Ten football, Mike Brown Jr., get him. Get him. The problem that we have now is somebody had just said it about trying to reinvent the wheel, right? But the Bears haven't had a solid culture, in my opinion, since Lovey. Anybody that came out of Lovey's regime told you, whether it was Peanut, Urlacher, Briggs, they was running through the wall for that man. Mm-hmm. But Lovey also had a track record and knew what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. And what the biggest thing that we kind of had a little bit of a disagreement on this panel, right, about who the Bears should have gotten as their coach. We got a rookie GM. That didn't mean we needed a rookie coach.
Right.
And now they've hitched their wagons together, and now it's almost like, well, if the Bears have this softer schedule, projectedly anywhere between 7 to 9 wins. If they do only have 3-4 wins, how much rope does he have now? Mm-hmm. Because not only did you not draft people to succeed this year, but now you have ineptitude at the coaching position. Mm-hmm. You could be a great player, but if I don't coach you up, that doesn't mean you're going to be a great pro. You could be a great college player. We all know it's people that have transitioned from college to the pros, and we'd be like, how did he fail? And we've seen it on so many levels. So many levels. So what I don't want now is I don't want for Justin to have to be put into, I have to save everybody. But who's saving Justin right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's a hell of a question because ultimately, if it's not your line, and I think Frank, you made a statement earlier that was telling, if I'm a lineman, I'm going to fight for my QB. I'm going to fight for him to the death. And so you can't tell me what's too much when I'm fighting for my QB. When you leave the field as a defender, I need to know that your line has enough heart that I can't try you and play you left because you know your linemen are going to stick up for you. And you know, in the great scheme of it, you might get hurt fooling around with them linemen when they say we've had enough of your shenanigans and your foolishness. But the biggest question still is, did Ryan Poles draft enough? And I'll be one to say it. I've said it before. I don't have a problem with anything he did during the draft, only because their positioning wasn't great. They didn't have great leverage in getting
And they
players.
had a lot of holes.
They had too many holes. I mean, what he was able to do picks 4 through 7 was amazing because you were able to kind of shuffle
he
around.
increased his draft capital, which I have to give him credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
How many times I was sitting there on my phone
picks.
getting ready to message out who they draft, and all of a sudden, they traded back. I'm like,
we had 5 picks.
But I was happy. I wasn't mad about it.
That's the X's and O's, the business side. See, you can have a bunch of people, Sizzle, where all 5 of us could look. 4 of us now because T, I think, dropped off. But we could look at one player and damn near have 4 different opinions of the same player.
Correct.
That doesn't help you when you're trying to build a franchise. There has to be some like-mindedness, right? If Chris and I say it all the time, foul mouth. If you run a 4.2 and you're 5'9", what good are you? We've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some 6'3", 6'4 guys that run 4.4s, 4.5s on the outside, so that when we throw that jump ball for the receiver to make a play, we're able to do that.
Fucking Skylark.
And it's like I have to be the one where if I'm the negative Nancy, I'll be there.
Oh, we got the Lion fan on.
I don't see the Bears this year competing at all. I don't.
I see him beating the Lions.
Can we pull up that graphic?
You got that, John?
You know what? Now I'll ride with you on that one, Frank. I will ride.
The Bears can
with
beat
you
the
on
Lions.
that one. That I will ride with you on. And I'm gonna say this about the Lions' first pick. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I got family in Detroit. They'll have to message me.
Me too.
That young man looks like a baby. When you see him, you actually see him when he did his pro shots. You were like, oh, that's who. If I'm an offensive lineman and I look at him, I say, that's who I'm going up against. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be great because he looks like a child. If you think he's gonna come in within the next 2 years and be the de facto, if you think you got what you got in Cleveland, Detroit, you are sadly mistaken.
Thinking that he's gonna be Myles Garrett 2.0.
What you talking about? Aiden Hutchinson?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that boy,
he's gonna be a damn good player.
He don't look like a baby to me.
He'll be all right, but he's not going to be what you think he is.
I'm not.
He's not going to come in and fund it out.
I don't expect him to be like some top-notch defensive lineman. I think he can get you double-digit sacks in his career a couple of times. I don't sit up there and expect him to be like all-world. No, I do not.
I don't see him as good as even the Watt brothers. And take your pick.
The Watt brothers are all world.
I don't think there's that many.
All 3 of them are great.
Yeah, right.
But like Brandon just said, Bosa. Now you have the one that's in. I was going to say San Diego.
Well, shit, they can't stay healthy.
Right. But and then you have the one that's in San Francisco. But again, I look at it. It's still something about that impact. Years ago, right? We picked a guy with our first round pick named Shea McClellan, and everybody was like, "Why?"
Boise State.
WTF? Why? Just run the gambit of who we could have picked that season, right?
We wanted to find Clay Matthews 2.0. That's why we
wait.
We got
but wasn't he the one that knocked out Brett Favre? And like one of the last games of the season,
he hurt him. He hurt him.
Yeah, he like dislocated his shoulders.
He separated his shoulder. Yes.
Yeah. I remember.
That's his claim.
That was his biggest thing in his NFL.
That's his claim. Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
It was great, and it was like, thank you for that one thing.
But doesn't he have a Super Bowl ring?
No. Well, not with us. I don't know if he got one later on.
With the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't think he ever played.
But remember what I said in my Bulls analogy. Just because I was the 18th man on the roster and I got a ring didn't mean I did anything. Thank you, Christian. Like, come on. Chandler Jones.
Yeah. The thing is with the Lions, and I always argue with this with the Lions, is you still have Jared. I should be playing golf, not a quarterback, Jared Goff. All right. I would take Baker Mayfield over that freaking clown. All right. Jared Goff isn't shit. And I'll say that live right. I don't think he is anything. You could any pressure whatsoever within 10 yards of him, he's going to throw a pick more than often. And that is the Lions' biggest issue is I would take Fields throwing it left-handed over Jared Goff.
Can I ask the panel this, though? What we feel for Jared Goff, he did something that not a lot of Bears quarterbacks.
Yes, he went to a Super Bowl. With a phenomenal offensive system coach, phenomenal running back, because didn't he have Todd Gurley when he was a
minute. Wait.
Todd Gurley was on his
because Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl, that don't mean he good.
Rex Grossman went to a Super Bowl.
That's not what I said.
Man, look at fucking his name always slips to my mind because he wasn't good. Dude in Baltimore, the Ravens.
Oh yeah, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl.
He wasn't good.
Flacco won a Super Bowl.
But what I'm saying is
he wasn't good. That defense was phenomenal.
That's no. That's totally different. That Rams defense that year where Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl, that defense was not all world. It was just good. It was not all world. So Jared Goff had one of those, lightning in a bottle seasons.
They played in the worst fucking Super Bowl ever.
He had one big year.
That was
probably
the most boringest fucking Super Bowl I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I think it was 13-6.
Didn't he only score like 10 points that game?
Man, you were begging for a motherfucker to get the first down on either squad.
Right, but what I'm saying,
I agree.
What I'm saying is, it's something that they see in Jared Goff, and they're putting a bunch of
garbage. He's hot garbage. So he's that shit that leaks out the garbage bag when you're taking it out.
They took Jared Goff just to give them cover because they got 2 original first-round draft picks. So they're drafting a quarterback this year.
Again, I will say this: you all can do all that ranting and raving that you want. I guarantee you, book it. The Bears split with the Lions this year.
Hell no.
Book it.
Well, they always split with the Lions, don't they?
Get your ass out of here, man.
But you hear what they're talking? That's that fandom talking. That's not.
That ain't fan shit. Tell me this, John. This is where me and you get into it. What the fuck has Detroit gone and did in the past fucking 7 seasons? What the fuck have they done? That's why me and you get into it because you feel stupid shit sometimes.
They shit the bed. That's what they did.
Detroit. Detroit.
I look at it like this.
Detroit.
What'd you say, Sizzle? We usually split with them, right?
Yeah. Normally we do.
So why would I think this year would be any different? When they spent they spent the most money on their offense of any team, we spent the second to last.
And tell me,
you
what
still have Jared Goff as
gotten, John?
I don't care.
Tell me what difference make. Who's their best wide receiver, John?
Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then they have Jameson Williams coming up too.
Tell me, John, how good is they running back, John?
They drafted Jameson Williams as well.
How good is they running back, John?
Swift is pretty decent.
Swift ain't shit. How's Jared Goff, John?
You put Jared Goff in a box.
You see that at the bottom?
Hey, I didn't look. Nobody said that they wasn't improved. I just said they still ain't shit.
Jared Goff
that still ain't shit is gonna split with the Bears because we ain't shit.
No, they won't.
I'm not denying that. Unfortunately,
you want to know? You want to know what's so funny about Chicago?
It's just that guy in the corner that yell a lot.
You really want to know what's funny about Chicago? And I said it before. The thing about the Bears, this will be the fucking season that the Bears will make the fucking playoffs because the Bears do dumb shit like that.
Nah, not this.
Nobody saw their ass making the playoffs in 2018. They
Where
fucking
is
did
the swear jar?
Every fucking time that they supposed to sit up there and lose, they're supposed to have a terrible season.
Everybody
come out and have a fucking good season.
Hey Frank, you can't watch this one at work.
No, I lost this at work the first 5 minutes of this damn show. I can't
Oh, yeah,
watch
you
it at
did.
work
You
the
lost
first
that.
5 minutes.
I gave you a question last
We
week.
can't watch this one at work. So that's what I was looking for. Sizzle.
Okay.
Give me your predictions of those 17.
Wait, who picked them to?
Those were Terrence's. So again, excuse his bias.
The 49ers, no.
Hey, I'm not against.
I think they could
he
hold
was
them
drunk when he
defensively
made
to the
that.
49ers. You know what? I'll go
I would want to
along
play
with
the 49ers early more than late. That's the only reason why I would do it.
No, they're not going to beat the Eagles. No, you're not going to beat Fred. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
That's definitely not going to happen.
That's
Wait,
not
hold
gonna
on. What? Hold on. So who's going to win the NFC East?
I have the Eagles winning it.
Do you?
Yeah, because I don't believe in Mike McCarthy. I believe in Dak Prescott. I don't believe in Mike McCarthy.
I want to know where the Eagles became this juggernaut where it's just like that's not gonna happen.
Pull up their roster.
Pull up their quarterback.
Their quarterback. I mean, if you're looking at
Their quarterback
asking,
is suspect.
You don't know about their quarterback. He's a question mark.
Now,
they have enough offensive
run.
line. They've got enough
can't
talent.
pass
They've got
worth shit.
receivers.
They've got
The quarterback can't fucking pass.
They've got a great defense. They've got a great running game. They've got great receivers. They've got a great line. They have an unproven quarterback. You can win something with that.
And like I sit up there and said, their quarterback can't pass, man.
He can pass.
No, he can't. He's not a good passer, JB. When the fuck did? If he was a good passer, then they probably would have made it further than
That's like, okay, I'm not comparing him, but that's like saying Lamar Jackson can't pass. That's just not true.
Lamar Jackson is a better passer than Jalen Hurts.
Thank you, Christian Sandefeld. N'Kobe Dean, I wanted the Bears to draft him to put him on the side of Roquan. Nobody listens.
Well, we got to get Roquan there first.
I'm gonna break up this. I'm gonna break up this conversation for 1 second.
Okay.
Because we have our second guest on tonight. Greg, we want you to stay on and take part in this conversation. It's always a great conversation with the guy we about to bring on, Herb Howard. He's a Chicago guy. Boots on the ground, feet on the ground, not boots. Feet on the ground. He's at training camp. He knows exactly what's going on with the Bears. He's a great football mind. I can't wait to talk to this dude. I know everybody on this panel can't wait to talk to him. From the Bigs Media, my man, the homeboy.
Bears beat reporter.
Yeah, Bears beat reporter. Southside guy, Herb Howard.
Herb, welcome back.
What up, y'all? What's good? What's good?
My man. My
Ain't
man.
nothing to it, man. Appreciate y'all having me. How y'all feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good until I saw you with that damn Cubs hat on, man.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Go Cubs, go.
I'm feeling real good until I saw you with that.
Hey, worry about them socks. Y'all supposed to be good. Y'all over there getting y'all ass beat every night.
We can't.
You know what? Can we just get one Chicago team to do something?
Just
Five
one.
to two socks
The
now.
Sky.
At least they push the lead.
The Sky, that's all we got.
The Sky, yeah, the Sky balling. They're balling.
And the Chicago Wolves, apparently, right, Frank?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
They just
Wolves
won
did
the
win
Calder
the
Cup,
champion
so
this
they
year.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Hey man, y'all been getting spicy on here, man. I've been watching y'all, man. Y'all been getting spicy, man.
We do, because you know we got this knucklehead up in the top right hand corner over here, man. Want to holler at Stephen A. Smith this shit, but I'm not
This
worried.
man's still talking about Detroit.
I want to ask her this. Her,
Do
before
that
we
Stephen
get
A. Smith foul mouth. I want to see that Stephen A. impression.
Well, fact of the matter is that John Bowles don't know shit that he's talking about. It really does. I mean, it's preposterous. It's preposterous.
It's perfect because I'll hit you with the Nick Wright one. Bro. This is how we got to look at this. The Bears are going to suck. Justin Fields can't complete a pass. He can't throw a ball within -2 yards. He's an idiot.
I mean, that's what we're talking about with the Detroit Lions. Fact of the matter is that the Detroit Lions ain't won shit in years.
We're gonna get our own show, just Stephen A. and Nick Wright. Just
Hey, Herb.
Why are we still talking about the Lions? I don't.
Because
Hey,
this guy
guys.
thinks we're gonna split with the fucking
That's that
Lions.
guy. I want to. Hey, Herb, can we put up that graphic one more time? Because we never did get Sizzle. We didn't get your total picks.
Yeah.
And before we dig into what's going on up in Hallis Hall, Herb, I'd like to get your picks as well. So this is a overzealous.
He had a couple shots in him when he made this.
That don't matter. I think the Bears are going to surprise some people, man. I really do think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
I think they're going to be better than. I mean, people are picking them to win 2-3 games, so obviously they should be better than what these freaking clowns.
I hate Debbie Downers, and I think most of you all on this panel are Debbie Downers.
Well, I actually got them picking 8 wins. That's what I got.
You have them with 10 wins. Vegas, I think, has them with 4.
I do.
Vegas has them with 4.
Fuck Vegas.
When the hell is Vegas ever right?
Yeah, they take all my money anyway. I don't give a fuck about Vegas.
So seriously, no, hey, CCN, please let our guests get this because I want to hear what they say. I want their insight. 17 of them, y'all. What you got? Sizzle, you go first. Herb, you come up.
All right. Well, as I'm looking at the predictions, I didn't realize there's some other things. So I would say a modest 7-10 with the modest 7-10 with the Bears this season.
Last year.
And I'm not saying that's a decline. I'm saying that's a balance for them with what they're playing up against. Some teams you can definitely see, but the ones who are actual contenders, especially with your AFC contenders, I don't see that the Bears will be able to pull out. You've got to score more than 23, 24 points a game.
What do we average? Anybody? Bueller. What do we average? Chris, I know you know because it's your favorite number. What do we average?
But see, why are we doing this? Why are we comparing apples to oranges?
Because it's still fruit.
This team, it's still fruit, motherfucker. But
that regime was nothing but a bunch of rotten grapes.
Herb, don't you agree? We can't compare this team with the team from the last regime, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Nagy's not the coach anymore.
$1 in the jar.
A whole new regime.
They ain't gonna be running shit but curls this year.
So again, Sizzle 7-10. Herb, what you got?
Throw it up there for Herb.
Yeah, I'm coming in somewhere.
Okay.
Oh shit, Herb.
Herb, we don't hear you.
I'm coming in somewhere around now. I think 6 wins is probably the floor. I think 9 wins the ceiling. I think they probably gonna come in somewhere. Y'all don't hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
We hear you. It's real choppy though.
Y'all don't hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
It's real choppy.
Yeah, it's choppy.
Now we're not.
I think that's because of his Cubs.
I feel like I'm like hella delayed or something.
Yeah, we're like super delayed.
Yeah, I think your connection.
Oh shit! I don't know why. Let me try to figure that out.
And you need to stop.
All right, let me try to figure that out.
I heard you say. I heard was fixing his technical difficulties.
Who got all these connections today, Chris?
I don't know what y'all talking about. All these got good groceries.
They got good groceries, but they ain't got no good internet connection, David.
But for the realist on this panel, Sizzle, that seems to be you and myself.
Yeah, realist is just
Herb said the same thing.
Word for Debbie Downer.
The floor is 6, the ceiling is 9. I have them 6 to 7 wins myself.
Okay.
Debbie,
because I'm not looking at this as just a Bears fan. I'm looking at it as you can look at who's in front of you, but when you have a rookie play caller, a rookie coach going against somebody that's been there, done that, that means something.
Can you seriously though? Look at that. Pop that schedule up again. Name me one team on there other than the Bills that is a guarantee loss.
The Packers.
I actually see us. I actually see us split.
Why do you think? Like, I want to know, where do you really got the Eagles? What do you have the Eagles record?
I don't see the Eagles being a guaranteed loss.
I definitely feel that's a guaranteed loss.
I only see the Bills as a guaranteed loss.
Now, I also feel that the Packers week 2 is a loss.
Yes, I agree with that too. Packers week 13 going right before a bye week. Aaron Rodgers is more interested in getting a manicure than he is playing football right before a bye week.
Well, he was looking very Cameron Poe-ish when he arrived at training camp.
Yes. Now, I've got a question when it comes to what we're looking at. Let's look between week 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9. Okay, I'm here.
So you got the Pats, you got the Cowboys, and you got the Dolphins. 3 teams that you truly don't know. I mean, you're looking at a second-year quarterback with the Pats. With the Dolphins, I have no idea what they're – I know what they have offensively, but their quarterback is not consistent. And then you've got, at week 8, you've got Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, which depends on if they're on or not.
It's in Dallas, though. They're always tougher in Dallas.
Yeah, in Dallas, and you've got Jerry Jones that just said that he would like Ezekiel Elliott to be more focused in and more locked in. So the question is, when you look at those 3, I would like to say the Bears could go. I would like to give them at least 10 wins. I would like to. But what I'm looking at right now, I don't see how you, unless there's one thing that could happen, and that one thing is that the offensive line plays much better than we thought. They run the ball better, and they're able to do a little bit more controlling the offense through their run game, and they don't have to depend so much on the passing game. Then I can see you winning some grind out games. But that's the only way from what I've seen so far. And Herb, you would know better with being around the team and understanding what the dynamics are. That's the only way I see that there's success for the Bears this season.
Yeah, that's definitely a formula for them to be successful.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
Well, when it's funny that you said that, Sizzle, because I think one thing that we know after watching the Bears last year, the fucking play calling was terrible.
Right.
It was atrocious. Some of the worst shit I've ever seen in football. That guy should not even be nowhere near a fucking football field because his play calling was terrible. I mean, it was god awful. So I think with improved play calling,
get them curls.
with the back that you got in Montgomery, that we've all seen Montgomery play. We know this guy can turn shit into sugar real fast. And like you said, with improved play, with a better defense, a younger, hungrier defense, I think they can win this game. Because tell you the truth, that's what some teams do. You know the best way to beat a high-powered offense? Keep their ass over there on the sideline. That's the best way to beat a high-powered offense.
And how do you do that? You run the
fucking ball.
You run the
That's
ball.
how you
give
fucking
that ball
win.
to Monte.
Now,
that's assuming the line can give you the run production that you're looking for.
Well, tell you the truth,
as long as you don't call delayed handoffs, then you're going to get more
year.
yards.
The thing is that you had an idiot fucking coach that didn't like them to fucking run the ball. When the Bears actually had some good games where they actually looked like a competent fucking football team, they were running the fucking ball.
22% last year they finished running.
When you have a damn coach that wants to sit up there and on a 3rd down and inches want to throw a fucking bubble screen or fucking try to throw the ball down the goddamn field on 3rd down and inches instead of giving it to your beast ass running back, then yes, of course you're gonna look like shit.
No. You're gonna throw up a jump ball to a 5'7" wide receiver. That's
right, or have him block a fucking defensive end and shit down.
Yeah, something like that.
So what I'd like to know from her is, what are you seeing as far as like the connection between Justin and the wide receivers? Are the wide receivers even looking any good?
No, not right now. There's no connection between them right now. I think they're working on it. I think it's to be expected. It's a brand new group of wide receivers, and they're all learning a new system. I'm not making any, final judgments on them just yet. But right now, it doesn't look good. It's sloppy. The timing is off. Justin seems late on a lot of throws. You got guys dropping a lot of passes. And when we talked to Luke Getsy last week, he was talking about more so than the drops. He was pissed off about the lack of execution. And when you talk about dropping the football, as an observer, you just kind of see the guy drop the ball and you just kind of leave it at that. But there's a lot of things that can go into dropping the football. And so the offensive coordinator is talking about execution. It could be a situation where the route is calling for you to get to, 12 yards and then break in. Well, maybe you're going to 13 and breaking in. So now you're late. Or maybe you're going to 11 and breaking in and now you're early. And so it's just off here or it's just off of there. And so, you see a drop and a lot of those things, a lot of different things go into it. And so I think they're working on that timing. right now you don't really see it. It's not really there for him, and they all look bad. The receivers look bad. Justin looks bad, and you know, I was mentioning that today, that his struggles have kind of continued in terms of him being late on a lot of throws, in terms of working through his progressions. And again, I'm not saying that he's not going to be everything that we think he can become. I think he can be great in this league, but right now, that's not the point he's at in learning this offense and going through those progressions. He's still late on a lot of things right now, and you know, they just kind of got to work through that process.
Herb, you say he's late and the coach is looking for execution. Let us know a little bit about why he's late. Is it mechanical? Because from the outside looking in, we've seen his release get a little bit faster, or is it late on the processing side? Like you said, you're supposed to break at 11, not 12, or you're supposed to break at 10, not 11. Those 1 to 2 yards, they make a big difference that we on the outside don't see, especially watching it on TV. But playing in the game, you know that one person that angles his route as opposed to making that sharp cut can make that ball look behind, which can lead to a drop and everything. Or is it more so that they're not coaching Justin up to get those off-time throws more executed?
Uh-oh.
Hey, getting cut out. No sound again, Herb.
I think they're definitely coaching them up. We see them working through all those different things and individual drills, and they talk about the things they're working on in terms.
Oh.
I guess he was like, "Fuck y'all."
that looked like that was the Bears.
That was a horrible
resources.
Question.
They just said like, you can't tell the secrets yet. We gonna
Right. I think the brain trust cut him off there. Like, nope, can't let anybody know what we're doing. Sorry, sir. No.
Can't have that.
Man, we were getting into some good stuff too, man.
And I was just thinking the Eagle Eye was just a movie. Man.
All this stuff we're hearing about how great things are looking at training camp, and we got some.
But that's all. But see, that's why I said I'm not gonna get swooped up into what local media just says. Oh, Justin threw this great deep ball to Velus Jones.
That's great. He could have dropped it.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, he went against like a practice squad DB.
No, that was Kyler Gordon he went against.
That was Kyler Gordon?
That was Kyler Gordon. And he blew past him, man.
Okay, because it looked like somebody was stumbling, fumbling, trying to bump. Like I didn't know who that was.
Gordon, though.
Yeah,
okay,
well, you know what? I've got a big question when it comes down to one receiver, and I think he's the receiver I'm focused in the most on, and that's Cole Kmet. Where's his
looking good from
his connection with Cole Kmet? And can Cole Kmet hold on to the ball? Does he know? And are they running time routes for him? That's one of the biggest questions. And I see her back now.
Yeah, my bad. So I switched over to a different device. Hopefully it should be better. But you know, I think that we're seeing them work on those things with Justin, work on those mechanical things, and what we're hearing right now from the coaching staff. Eberflus said yesterday that it's his feet. They're trying to get his feet in order. They think that once he gets the timing with his feet, then the throws will be on time as well, right? There's this relationship between your feet and the routes. And so if it's a 3-step drop, 5-step drop, 7-step drop, those are aligned with the routes that are being run. And whatever he's doing with his feet right now isn't allowing him to be on time. And so Matt Eberflus, I asked him specifically yesterday because Justin Fields had a rough day yesterday where he was just late on the throws. And I asked Eberflus about it in the press conference, and he said, listen, we're working on him getting his feet tied to the rest of the play in terms of the timing of it. And so I think they're working through those things. He is certainly putting the time in. He's committed to it. Again, I think he has all the tools to be everything we want him to be. But this is a second-year kid learning his second offense already, and there's just going to be some growing pains. It doesn't help him that he doesn't have a lot of talent on the outside. And so it's not like they're creating separation right off the snap. You got the defense that's ahead of them, right? They're playing this cover 2 defense that, there's some nuances to it, and they're still learning too, but it's faster to learn that than it is to learn the Green Bay Packers offense, right? And so they're ahead of them right now. Yeah, they're ahead of them right now, and they've got better players on that side of the ball. Jalen Johnson and Bojack and even Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker are just better than what the Bears have on offense right now. And so that's the offense going to have to work through those types of things right now, but it's going to be a work in progress. It really is.
So, Herb, did he mention, was it the happy feet, from the quarterback position, was it the happy feet, or was it he's got that ploddingness where he gets stuck and doesn't pivot his feet on his throws?
He didn't go into specifically what it is that he's doing that they don't like, but he did, reference it as it relates to the timing of the play. And so, I don't know that Justin has happy feet like he's kind of seeing goals or he's kind of uncomfortable sitting back there. I don't think that's what it is. I think that, just as he's kind of working through his progressions, he's not getting from 1 to 2 fast enough, right? And so if the first thing he looks at isn't there, how do I get to 2? How do I get to 3? And then by the time I do, can I get that ball out? And if I do, is it on time or is it too late? And we've seen too many examples over the course of these first 4 or 5 practices of training camp where he just hasn't been on time.
So can I ask you something here, Herb? Because I know obviously Justin Fields is a big thing that we want going on in our offense, and hey, Darnell Mooney as well. I mean, we're going to see what he's going to do with everybody game planning to stop him at wide receiver right now.
Yeah.
But how is Cole Kmet looking? Because I think that's probably a big question mark for this Bears receiving team right now is how he's going to do.
It's a huge question mark. Cole Kmet needs to have a big season for the Bears. And his offense is kind of designed for him to be able to do that. They can get that outside zone running. They can get that running game going, get David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, and those guys moving the ball in the running game. It's going to open up the middle of the field for Cole Kmet. It's going to open up those bootlegs for Justin, and then you get the mismatches with Cole in the middle of the field. He's going to be able to kind of block, and then slip out on some of those things. He's got to be a key factor in what the Bears want to do. Now, the question remains, can he do it? Is he that guy, right? We know all the potential he came out of Notre Dame with. They took him in the second round. We believe he has the potential. We've seen some flashes of it, but he hasn't been able to sustain it. And so, this is, for me, this is kind of his last opportunity to show, are you good or not? Like, it's just a real simple question. Are you good or not? And maybe he is and maybe he isn't, but nobody can answer that definitively right now. So far, I would include him in with the rest of the offense. They just look sloppy. They haven't put it together yet, and they've got time, right? They've got time, and it's not going to be a finished product.
Just put on the pads today. First day putting on pads, so
it's not even going to be a finished product when the 49ers show up, right? It's going to continue to be this growing thing even as the season goes along. But he's certainly going to have to be a critical component to their offense if they want to have some success.
But see, that's kind of telling and kind of frightful to me at the same time because, as Chris likes to call it, the underwear Olympics, you want them to look like perfection right now.
Yeah.
And hope that carries over into pads and everything, into the preseason. The preseason, guys, is really like, to me, that's going to be more telling because right now, if I'm reading you right, Herb, we're nowhere near where they expect us to be. And a lot of that could be just coaching and philosophy as well. But like you said, we won't even be a finished product by the time the 49ers hit. Well, shit, that's go time by the time they come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, somebody asked Justin that a couple of weeks ago. They asked him, were they ready to play a game? I thought the question was hilarious in the first place, but
I remember that.
Yeah. Justin, for being honest, he was like, hell no, we're not ready to play a game.
And social media tore him apart for that.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but people overreact. I mean, it's just the truth of the matter. They're learning a brand new offense with all new pieces. Not even like you learned a new offense with all the guys you've been playing with for 4 or 5 years. That will help you kind of learn an offense too.
Right, chemistry.
You learn the offense with a brand new offensive line, brand new receivers. Like, this is all a whole brand new thing. And anybody expecting this offense to be clicking on all cylinders right now is playing themselves. Anybody expecting this offense to be clicking on all cylinders week 1 or week 5 is playing themselves. They're going to have to figure out ways to be competitive and win games while they are still learning on the job. And there's a formula to do it. It's not like they can't win games, but they're going to have to understand, okay, what is it that we do well? What is it that we don't do so well? Protect the football, lean on our defense, make sure every drive ends in points or a punt, and give yourself a chance in the fourth quarter. And I think they can do that and find themselves more competitive than people think. But if you're looking for them to come out here and score 30, you're playing yourself.
Yeah.
What if they
I don't think they're going to be scoring like a lot of points. I
think their defense can be pretty good though.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that, defense, I don't mean to sound cliche-ish, but defense wins games. And I do think they can beat some of those teams. Now, I will have to revise that schedule a little bit. They're not going to go 10-7.
I think they could. I think the floor for them is 6 wins. I think the ceiling for them is 9 wins. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I've been seeing a lot of 3 and 4 wins. I don't know. I do know why people are saying that. You look at the roster, you say, there's not a lot of talent there, but I think that, if you play the game the right way and you don't beat yourself and you're disciplined and you compete, you can kind of be better than the sum of your parts. And I think they're kind of laying a foundation for that culturally to be able to compete even above maybe their ability would kind of dictate. And so I think that they'll win at least 6 games. I think that they could potentially win 9 games. But either way, it's going to be predicated on them running the football, protecting it on offense, playing lights out on defense, playing solid special teams. It's not going to be about Justin Fields throwing for 350 and 4 touchdowns. That's not the reality, not this year.
And that's what I wanted to speak more of, because now what a lot of people want to put that praise on, but we've seen what happens when the defense is lights out, and now they're into their 30th, 34th, 36th minute of play. They get tired too.
Absolutely.
And the offense doesn't bail them out. So that's what, to Foulmouth's point, keeping them offenses off the field. But sometimes you can't help it, because if all you do is run the ball well and they start to stop your run with a patchwork offensive line, I'm just looking for some like semblance of hope that even if it's a 6 and 11 season, 7 and 10 season, was it competitive?
Mm-hmm.
If it was competitive, I'll take that. But if it's a bunch of blowouts and playing down the competition like it has been in the past, then what have we really changed except the names on the venue and on the lockers? That's all we've really changed. Because what people still fail to realize, after your first 10 to 15 scripted plays, those rookie coaches got to adjust, and they have to prove. Not just the rookie players have to show and prove, but them coaches. Am I running a 4-minute drill? Am I running a 2-minute drill? Am I throwing the ball too deep? It's things that go along that, because they're going to be held to a different standard too, because this is their first time calling plays. Situationally, how do they hold their hands during adversity? Because right now, we can say that Eberflus is a rah-rah guy, get your cleats and all that. Dude, you're a defensive coordinator that had a above-average defense for most of your career. Now you're the head man. When do you step in and say, hey, this ain't working, man, change this? Or do I just hold back and say, hey, that's the OC's job. And he said he wanted to be more hands-on with offense. So with that being said, how much onus are we putting on this coaching staff, Herb?
A whole lot. I mean, everything starts with the coaching staff, right? And I think that, to their credit, I think they're coming in and under Eberflus's leadership, they're setting a culture where the expectation is clear on what they expect from these players. Just watching them on the field, this is a different team. This is a better football team than the one they had last year. Mm-hmm. On paper, the team last year would be better. On the field, this team is better. They don't walk on the field. They run, even in between drills. They're sprinting from one drill to the next. Everybody's finishing. You're seeing 11 guys running to the football. Those are the types of things that are going to allow you to play above your talent level. You never know when that ball pops out. But if you got more guys around than the other team, you're probably going to come up with it. And if they can get a few extra turnovers over the course of the season, that's going to go a long way and pay dividends for them. And so he's setting a culture of expectation. You hear from every single player, from the Jalen Johnsons to the Eddie Jacksons to Justin Fields. Everybody's talking about how they're holding them accountable and calling them out in meetings and calling them out for lows and not finishing and all those things. And those things might sound small, but you add those things up over the course of a season, and it really, really matters. You get 53 guys all pulling in one direction, all totally committed to what's going on, and you end up with maybe a better record than your talent kind of says that you should be. And so I think that that's the number one thing the coaching staff has to do. Now, I'm with you 100%. We don't know how they manage a game, right? And so
well, that's what I was going to say. That other stuff is that one band, one sound thing. We know that's important. We haven't heard that in about 10 years. We know that. But can they coach?
And that's the thing. The McDonald's drive-thru.
Well, we're going to find out, goddammit.
Can they coach?
They can coach shit. Yeah, we don't know shit until that damn game starts.
Right.
I mean, I give them one.
Managers timeouts, that kind of shit. Like timeouts. When do you go for it on 4th down? Like those are the types of things that we can't answer right now. You ain't gonna be able to answer that in camp or nowhere else.
Or how's the play calling?
Mm-hmm. Frank, I'm interested to hear what you were about to say about the McDonald's drive-thru.
I was just saying, as far as our McDonald's drive-thru coach that we had last year. Couldn't manage a damn football game.
Yeah.
His favorite plays were curls and draws. Like
flat.
Right.
I think this team gonna be better. The offensive line is gonna be better than what it was last year.
Well, firing our regime last year made us already a better team.
Well, we about to put ourselves back in the trick bag, getting rid of Tevin Jenkins. That's kind of a disappointment in itself.
It really is, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's not gone, so we don't know what the hell going on.
He's on the block.
Probably
They're
will
listening
be.
to offers.
He's not gone.
In this case, where there's smoke, there's fire, gentlemen. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Because if they are trying to light a fire on him and break him down, like I said, he could be gone already. But Herb, I do not need another Chris Williams situation. I don't.
Ooh, you said Chris Williams. Oh my
Nobody needs that.
I like that.
I said last Wednesday, and then I wrote a column that, Tevin Jenkins might not be on this roster in 2022. And, I put it out and people was kind of going crazy about it. And it's like, listen, I'm not making a personal indictment of the player or the person. I don't know, right? I don't know if he can ball or not, right? Maybe he can. What I do know is this particular regime doesn't seem to like him or think he's a fit for what they want to do. It's not me saying that he can't ball. It's me showing up there every day, watching everything they're doing since the spring, and it's telling me that for whatever reason, I'm not sitting here speculating on what the reason is. I'm not saying he's not working hard. I don't know what the reason is. All I know is watching what they're doing, watching the tea leaves. I'm just picking up what they're putting down. It says to me they don't like him as a fit for this team. They started off in the spring, and in the spring, they put a 5th-round pick from Southern Utah in front of him taking first-team reps. That was a huge red flag, number one. Then right before training camp, you bring in a 10-year veteran starter, pushing Tevin Jenkins even further down. It's like I don't know why, right? Again, I'm not making any indictments about him as a player. I don't fucking know. But I do know they don't seem to like him. And so, when I said that, that's all I was getting at. And then I show up to practice the next day, he's not out there and he hasn't been out there since. Then today we hear, they're talking about trading him. Or yesterday we heard they're talking about trading him. It's like, yeah, it makes sense to me because clearly they don't like him. And so if you don't like him, see if you can get something for him.
I figured why go get Riley Reef unless something was wrong with Tevin Jenkins.
Well, I mean, you lost your other offensive lineman. That's why you went out and got Riley Reef.
But you remember
they did go out and get 2 offensive linemen.
They lost one offensive lineman.
Tevin Jenkins is gone. He's good as gone.
No, well, we lost Dozier to injury.
Yeah, but for the whole season.
But I don't think he was in the mix for either one of those swing type of positions.
No, but I mean, you still lost the depth player.
But what I'm saying is, remember when we came in after the draft, guys, it was slated that Tevin Jenkins and or Larry Bourne would be the left or right tackles.
Correct.
I mean, you brought in Riley Reef, and he's injury prone too the last few years.
But you bring in Riley Reef because you don't have something's not right with Tevin Jenkins. That's why you bring in a Riley Reef.
Yeah.
And that's why I said that's more telling. In my opinion, that's more telling to what's going on with Tevin Jenkins than it is with Larry Bourne, because if need be, you kick Larry Bourne to that inside on that right guard position. But then what did? They went and got somebody for right guard. So,
man, they brought Riley Reef to compete for a starting spot.
Oh, absolutely. You didn't get him.
I know, compete. He's going to start.
He is the starter.
Right.
So he's going to
start. Basically, the writing is on the wall, I think, for Tevin Jenkins.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. As long as that son of a bitch ain't going against fucking Khalil Mack, I guess he all right. The only thing I got in my damn mind and in my visual is motherfucking Khalil Mack tossing his ass like a rag dog.
Yeah.
I can't
get what he's known for here in Chicago. That's for sure.
Jesus Christ, did he toss his
straight
ass
wrestling
like a rag dog?
But I want to ask that again though, Herb. With all the pressure from Montgomery running the ball and everything, I mean, is this line still patchwork? I saw a tweet by Jason Peters saying, hey, the kid needs some protection. Let me come back. And I'm like, wow, we want a 42-year-old guy to come back and left tackle? Because, I mean, I'm gonna let it out the cat out the bag. I'm
Did he really say that?
Yes, he did, and I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I like Jason Peters.
I do, but
Yeah,
to
bring
me,
him back
I
for a
like him
role.
coming back saying that, even if it's just for locker room presence.
Exactly.
I like him coming back for depth.
Bring the old man back in.
Us.
I don't. But
Yes, he is. Yes, that's why I'm advocating that the old man get a job.
the 22-year-old ain't cutting it. The 24-year-old ain't cutting it. And Sam Mustafa for damn sure ain't cutting it. So what do we have?
Don't even say that fucking name.
Peters didn't even have a bad year at 41 years old.
JP might have been their best lineman.
Wasn't he rated top 15?
Yeah, he was pretty damn good.
He was rated top 15 line.
Again, when you have, it was Cleveland too. When you have one of the best pass rushers going up against a 42-year-old in his first game back, and you're putting 5 players, you're only putting 5-man protection one-on-one with a 42-year-old Jason Peters who just got off of the couch.
They could have.
That just shows your coaching staff right there.
They could have fired Matt Nagy in Cleveland.
I wanted
that. Herb, you know you wanted to too. I was like,
hey, that was premeditated murder. Like
there was a good belief around the NFL as far as with the experts and everything. That a lot of people were saying that he should have been fired after that.
Yeah.
Fucking game.
Yes.
Yeah, that was professional malpractice. What he did in Cleveland.
It was.
Say that one more time so everybody
not to bring up his.
That was professional malfeasance. What happened in Cleveland? He almost got that boy killed.
Absolutely.
Premeditated murder, man.
Yeah.
If you watch the people on First Take, unfortunately, Dan Orlovsky said it perfectly right there. And everyone came out and was just like, I apologize right now to Mitchell Trubisky because that game just proved that Nagy has no. Damn it! I said his name. Crap.
Yeah.
I'll get the dollar.
Get the swear jar.
I'm gonna get that jar. But he said he was just like that. Just proved this guy has no idea what the hell he is doing. Like you literally Fields. What if you tore an ACL or something?
Right.
Getting crushed or something like that. And then
I was worried about the concussions because he was getting hit in the head so damn much. It was like Miles. If you listen to Miles Garrett interview, he almost looked like he was about to cry. Like, man, I feel sorry for this dude, and I had to do it to him.
Right.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was on a suicide mission, and I had to kill this guy. Like,
if you're a father, and if I were Justin Fields' father, and I saw that game, you're crying. I'm sitting at home watching it. Like, you can't seriously keep doing this.
Sizzle, that's you.
It's that classic sound bite from LT when he's like, son, y'all gonna have to do better than this, man. After he had killed, I don't know which one, Theismann or Asias, one of them dudes, he's like, y'all gonna have to do better than this, man. Like
that was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was almost as bad.
For the first time in my life as a Bear fan, and that's saying a lot, I was so embarrassed watching that damn football game.
Yeah, it was like the Giants when the Bears played the Giants, and I'm not a number 6. I'll just put it like this. There are certain moments as a Bear fan you remember and they stick out. And that was
that beating he took.
Yeah, that was egregious. It was murder. It was actually a suicide mission that they put him out on. And so I got a question for you, Herb.
Yes,
with now everything with the line and the way they're doing their zone blocking and moving around, does this lend for the running backs to be more of a running back by committee? Are we going to see more of them kind of diversifying, not just going up the A or the B gap, but stretching out and then trying to put running backs in different positions?
Yeah, that's certainly what they want to do, right? They want to get that outside zone going, and they want to press these landmarks and press. And David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert both have the ability to stick their foot in the ground and then get north after they press it. And maybe you stay on that path all the way outside, or maybe you cut it back in when you see it. But I think that all of those running backs have the ability to do that. And then Tristan Ebner, the rookie that they drafted, he played in the outside zone in college. That's the scheme he's comfortable with. And so he's going to be able to come in and contribute as well. And so I absolutely think you'll see a bit of a running back by committee, and they're going to have to. They're just going to have to keep chugging at this thing. And I don't care if you're going, 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yard. You keep plugging it, then eventually it'll go 8, 13, 40. And that's just that's going to have to be what they do, and then use Justin's athleticism off of it. I asked Khalil Herbert yesterday or the day before about, Justin's athleticism helping those running backs. And he's like, absolutely helps us because it freezes that D end just for half a second. And it just freezes him for a second and allows us to kind of hit that crease. And so they're going to all have to put those pieces together and use everybody. So all three of those running backs, David Montgomery has shown that he gets stronger as the game goes along.
Yes,
He didn't get a lot of opportunities to show that, but when he did get carries third and fourth quarter, he was still strong. And you get those defensive linemen, those linebackers, so you know, by the time the fourth quarter comes, you're tired of banging with these 300-pounders. And now they got a fullback in there, and Blasingame is a fucking load. Just watching this dude. He's huge, and he's fast. And so the linebackers going to get tired of leading up on him. By the time fourth quarter comes around, David Montgomery's still fresh. Khalil Herbert is fresh. You got this kid, Ebner, that's dynamic. They're going to play a key role late in the game, so they're going to have to be able to get all of those guys kind of going if they want to be successful.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. And for all those people out there, like I said, I love David Montgomery. I think Khalil Herbert is good, but he's not better than David Montgomery.
Not yet.
He may be faster, but he can't catch better.
No, he's not faster.
Huh?
David Montgomery cranked up his speed again this offseason. Like
he has. He did it again last
year. That guy is
obvious, and it seems like even faster this year. You know what's interesting about Khalil? Like I don't know what makes him good. I do think he is good, and every time he touches the ball, he tends to make things happen. He's 4 yards a pop, and he's getting it done in the return game too last year.
Right.
But when you watch him, I don't know why he's good. Right? He's not all that fast. It's not. It's just he's just getting it done somehow. And
from what I heard, he had great vision.
I was gonna say his vision seems to be
one thing that I heard. He sees the hole open up before he hits it, and that's what makes him very good running back.
And he's able to take angles that are positive. He gets positive yardage every time he takes an angle. I like him. I like watching how he runs. It's one of those things now where, to the point, you've got to bring in more. You've got to get more running. You've got to save. To this point, my radio partner swears Jay's biggest gripe when it comes to Justin Fields is he will never be successful in the league because he cannot read defenses. And that's Jay's big thing. And his back to one of JB's points. His whole point is that the Bears will use his inability to be successful this year as a reason why they should bring in their own people next year. We always have that argument that if you lose Justin Fields at this point, then you've lost the team and everything goes astray. You're 10 years now back into obscurity. But Herb, is he getting better when he looks across that line and sees the defense? Can he read? Does he know his hot reads? And then is he able to see who's coming, who's not coming? Because that seemed to be one of the problems he had last season, was he was not seeing those blitzes, especially coming off his blind side.
Yeah, every time I've been asked about, the next step in his development this offseason, my answer has always been his ability to decipher what happens to him post-snap. Like, he's got to the point where he understands what's going on pre-snap. And so he's getting guys lined up and telling guys where to go, and he's able to make his reads and his checks and all those types of things. But after the ball is snapped, if the defense shows him zone and then brings man, or they show pressure and they drop out of it, or vice versa, he kind of has this bit of a hesitation to figure out, okay, what do I do now? And fortunately for him, and to his credit, he has the athleticism to then kind of make things happen on the fly, right? He can do that, and that allows him to kind of get out of trouble. But it's trouble that he gets himself in by not being able to quickly decipher what took place post-snap. And if he can get to that place, but again, you're talking about a kid learning his second system in 2 years. And so I think he's kind of almost back to where he was last year. He's a little bit of ahead because he's had a whole offseason as the number one quarterback. He didn't know he was going to play until they put him out there and let Cleveland kill him, right? And so he didn't get many reps with the ones or anything like that last year. So he's ahead in terms of that, but it's still a new system. And so, he's still got a lot of growing pains to go through in terms of finding all of the answers and knowing, how do I get from my first read to my second read to my third read? How do I find my hot right now? And where do I go with it? And I think we're going to see him struggle with that at times and then kind of have to use his athleticism to bail himself out of trouble. But, it's going to be the process that he has to go through because right now he's still struggling with it. I think that's a part of what I was saying earlier about him being late. He's struggling to kind of go through his progressions right now.
So I liken that to, if we switch sports real quick, to boxing, a counter puncher with no power. So if Justin doesn't make those post-snap adjustments quicker, even on the hot routes, is that something that Getsy's going to be able to corral? Because now that might be the way the Bears have to run their offense, right? Because there is no dynamics to it to where you're just going to say, hey, I got that guy. I don't have that Randy Moss. Just go burn everybody, and I'm going to throw it to the end zone, and you go get it.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too, right? In terms of him, not having that ability coming in. Sizzle was talking about his co-host, talking about him not being able to kind of read through those defenses. You come from Ohio State, I ain't got to read shit. Olave open as soon as the play starts. You know what I mean? Like my receivers better than that. We at O State. We already better than them. So they open by 5 yards. In the NFL, open is 1 yard, a half yard. Open is the DB right here, but I'll put it over here. Like, so it's a different thing. And so, Getsy is going to have to kind of dumb it down a little bit. And that's, again, it's not necessarily an indictment on Justin. I think any young quarterback would deal with this, especially, again, learning your second system in 2 years. It's like learning a new language. It's like learning a whole different thing. And he's kind of working through it. He's putting the time in. I have no doubt about that. He's putting the time in. He's watching the film, and he's in his playbook, and he's doing the extra work. I have no doubt about that in terms of Justin Fields' work ethic. But it just takes time, and it's going to take him even more time because he comes from a place where I ain't really have to do that, right? If the play called on Olave to run a post, he's going to be open on the post. That's just what it is. And now that's not the case, right? Now he's trying to do that with Equanimous St. Brown and N'Keal Harry, and like it's not the same situation. So it's just going to take some time for him to do that. And, it, like anything else, you got 100 level, 200 level, 300 level. And so right now they may have to, the playbook might be this thick, but they might have to just, cut it in half a little bit for first quarter, first half of the season until he's ready to say, okay, now we can add on these other layers to it. And again, everything's going to be predicated on the run game. If they can run the ball, everything else becomes easy.
So I'm going to say that is an indictment on the coach, because if he doesn't scale it back to kind of accentuate what Justin does best, he is doing him a disservice. And we saw it a little bit last year.
Yeah, I was going to say that same thing. Like, you got to sit up there, like even Mitchell Trubisky. He said when he was talking to the press over there in Pittsburgh, he said they wouldn't help him out running the type of plays that he likes. It was more so you're going to run what the coach likes. Mm-hmm. And that's what we saw again last year. That with that guy, I'm not going to say his name, that you got to run plays that he feels comfortable running right now. It's just that simple. He said he liked running bootleg plays, then run some goddamn bootleg plays. Throw in a little mixture of this, a little mixture of that. You can't give him everything he wants, but give him majority of what it is that he needs to keep his confidence high and for him to be successful. Because we know one thing about a quarterback, everything with them is about confidence. Yep. You got to keep them confident, especially when you're young. You're young. You're always used to producing. You're always used to being good. And sometimes some people don't handle adversity that well, especially when you haven't really been going through it. So you're not as resilient as people would like you to be.
Right.
So that's why I'm hoping for a fact that they actually run some plays for him and design the offense around his strengths and not about what it is that they want to run.
I mean, one thing we can say positive too with Justin Fields is that work ethic is there. We're not going to have to put in his contract, he has to have 4 hours of film time because we're not going to have to put video games on that thing. Like that's one clear thing. When T-Nick, you look confused. Do you not know what I'm talking about? Dude?
I'm trying to find out where that fucking noise is coming from.
The echo?
Yeah.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Y'all keep going. I'm gonna figure this shit out.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's always in there looking at film. I mean, players are always coming out saying his leadership skills are great. It's just reading the defenses that it comes with the time that you play. Like somebody popped it up on the screen. It was like Mahomes couldn't read defenses either, but the offensive coordinator put him in the right position to be successful, where he can still read defenses down the road, and that's what you got to do. And I mean, Foul, you said it perfectly with Trubisky too. They failed that with Trubisky. Not saying he could still read defenses. Nobody even knows. He was just never really given the chance to actually have a system run towards him.
You can't believe shit in that damn offense because that shit was fucking terrible.
It was
damn offensive lineman didn't know who the fuck they were supposed to block in that shit.
Who do you think had a worse offense? Him? I still don't like saying his name, or Tressman. I think Tressman was a better coach.
No,
I think Tressman was a better coach.
Nah, I'm saying I think that guy
Tressman lost the locker room.
Tressman lost the locker room, but that guy didn't know how to call plays for shit.
I'll say this: Tressman probably was the better X's and O's coach, but the Denny's menu guy thought he was going to do what Andy Reid did just because he learned under him.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not always. We just saw that a few years back in Denver when Buddy took the Denver job under Belichick. I don't remember his name right now. He's the Raiders coach now.
Yeah. Talking about Daniels?
Daniels.
Yeah.
So Josh Daniels, or I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels.
McDaniels.
McDaniels. Where the fuck is that? McNugget? It don't matter.
But what I wanted to kind of switch sides her real quick because we're going to beat a dead horse with Justin until we see how they adjust. But as this defense goes, so does Mr. Roquan Smith. That is, I was very concerned about that that defensive line, 3 technique with a person never playing it, and then the 3 people that are going to play Khalil Mack at committee. But now with Rope, like what are we doing? What are we hearing? If you allowed to elaborate on that, because hey, give him 17 now or give him 22 next year. Which one is it?
Yeah, I think they need to go ahead and pay him. I mean, that's what I would do if I were them. This is a top 5 linebacker in this league. This is one of 2 guys in the history of the league that over a 2-year span has 300 tackles and 30 tackles for loss. The other dude's name is Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Pay the dude, right? And so, but I'll be honest with you though, JB, I think this thing is going to go for a long time, right? I think that this is I don't think this thing is going to end quickly. Roquan Smith is a man that stands on principle. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him be the last player in his own draft class to sign his rookie deal, even though he was the number 8 pick in the class, right?
Yes.
We've seen him do this before by the language in his contract. And so he's not a guy who is going to cave in to what he believes in. And he's been a phenomenal player on the field. He's been an outstanding leader on and off the field. He's been a model citizen for this team. He's always stepped up and addressed the media, asked the tough questions anytime he's been asked to. He's been everything that they've asked him to be. And now it's his turn to say, okay, pay me as such. And now you got this new regime like, we don't know about all that. And as much as he's not a guy that I think is going to fold on this negotiation, I also don't see Ryan Poles as a first-time GM setting the precedent that he's willing to cave in to player demands.
I think he will eventually pay him.
But don't fight that player. He's your best player.
Yeah, he is your future as of right now. Him on one side, Fields on the other.
I want to ask you this, Herb.
Hold on, let him finish, Chris. He didn't finish.
Hold on. I agree with y'all that he is the best player, and like I said, I would pay him. But as a first-time GM, I just don't think that he's going to be willing to set that precedent that he caved into the players' demands. And I would say just a little bit, Poles has more leverage than Roquan. If for no other reason, then nobody gives a fuck about this season. Poles don't really care about this season for real. He's not trying to win a Super Bowl. Nobody's expecting them to. And so if you want to sit on the sideline and not play all year, whatever. We ain't going to be shit no way. That's how he's thinking. So, I hope they get it settled tonight and is he on the practice field tomorrow and pass. But if I was guessing, I would say this thing goes on for a long time, maybe even into the season.
Go back to what you just said, Herb. We're not trying to win this season anyway. I don't care. That's a problem for me.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, listen, I get it, right? And he's not going to come out publicly and say we're not trying to win. But everybody understands this isn't a team.
No, I'm not talking about the win part, but you need that guy to win for the future.
Sure.
Well, I'll ask you this, Herb. Do you have any type of idea about how much he's asking for?
I thought I heard 20.
Yeah, everybody's speculating that he wants a contract comparable to what Darius Leonard got, right? Out in Indy, playing in the same system. Both of them guys being, all pros. I know Roquan hasn't been voted into the Pro Bowl, but he's been a two-time
nobody gives
All-Pro.
a shit about the Pro Bowl.
And he's got actually better overall numbers than Darius Leonard.
He's been a two-time All-Pro, and so both of those guys are All-Pro players. He's a top 5 linebacker in this league, and so people are saying he probably wants a contract similar to what Darius Leonard got. Then people are saying, listen, the Bears probably want to pay him around 15, 16, not upwards of 20.
More than that.
I don't.
What did Leonard get? What did Leonard get?
Leonard's
right around 20.
I think he got 19.
19.7.
Yeah, he got 19. Fred Warner got like 19.7.
What are you gonna say you don't pay him? He comes out, he plays, balls again, great phenomenal year. You might have to up the price next year then.
If he plays this year, he's going to lead the league in tackles.
Yeah, and then you're looking at
defense on the weak side. He's going to get 150 tackles again, and then now we're going to pay him.
Now the price goes up.
Now it goes up. I just sent you something. I want you to post that so that our fans and the people watching can see exactly what we're talking about as far as the production. Because the number 1 rated linebacker is from the 49ers. It's Fred Warner, right?
Yeah.
Right. If we look at statistics, he's a dog. But look who he has around and in front of him as well. Roquan for most of the year, because Khalil Mack was hurt, Hakeem Hicks was in and out of the lineup, he did it on his own. Forget about his assisted tackles and singles. His tackles for loss alone was tops in the NFL. I just sent T a schematic of what we need to look at from the top linebackers. When I said 17, that's a hometown discount because I know we need a little bit of help everywhere else.
I put it to you like this.
Every bit of $20 million that brother he deserves.
Hey,
he deserves his
I hope Ryan Poles ain't the black fucking Jerry Reisendorf around this motherfucker. I ain't about to go through that shit now. We already got one cheap ass.
If that's how Poles thinks, accompanied about, not to say what he did in the later part of the draft, but kind of the questionable moves in free agency and with that 3rd pick, is he the guy for the job?
Nobody knows. It's his first time, yeah.
Well, let me.
But when you got a slam dunk, you take it.
Yeah. Let me ask this real quick, just as interject. If I'm correct, Roquan is his own. He's negotiating his own contract, correct?
Yeah, he doesn't have an agent.
Yeah,
he doesn't have an agent. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're talking about splitting, and to JB's point, I can't see why somewhere between 18.5 and 19.5 would be an issue for the Bears at this point. What is the bigger issue? You just said that Ryan Poles doesn't want to set the precedent, but is that precedent not, if you're talking about your best player, maybe the best player on the team outside of Justin Fields? I still believe
he's better than
right now.
Roquan's the best player on the team.
As of right now, hands down, best player on the team.
If that's the question, you don't want to disturb the locker room. You want to set a culture. Your hardest worker is asking you for a pay raise. Is this not, Herb, something that you need to get done? And as you said, it needed to be done yesterday.
Yeah, it's something that they absolutely need to get done. And Ryan Poles, he said since the spring that it's something that they want to get done. Even as recently as last week when we found out that Roquan was going to, go through camp on PUP.
That
was weird too, right? Herb, on PUP?
Yeah, doesn't PUP still get you paid?
It does, but it also he can't get touched, right?
It serves 2 purposes. Number 1, it's kind of a good faith thing for him to do, so he doesn't get fined for not being at training camp. But 2, if he's on PUP, it opens up another roster spot too, and so they're not sitting there with 89 guys as opposed to 90, and so it opens up the roster spot, and he keeps his money. So it works well on two fronts.
But they didn't fill that roster spot with a linebacker spot, though, right?
No, I thought they did.
Yeah, they filled it with like a lineman again.
Another lineman. I saw that.
I mean, they didn't need to fill it with a linebacker. I mean, it's not like the 90th guy on your roster, if he's the linebacker, is going to fill Roquan's spot. So you just add competition wherever you need to add more competition. But he said, even last week, he was like, I love Roquan as a player and as a person. I still love him. Nothing's changed about that. All right, then pay him. Pay him. Like,
he deserves to get paid.
Yeah, y'all got the money. Y'all gonna have even more money next year. Pay the dude. You got your linebacker for the next decade. It's a birthright for Bears fans to have a stud linebacker. It's what we expect.
It's what we do.
It's like fucking death and taxes, baby.
Right.
But correct me if I'm this though. I'm not saying I agree 100%. Pay Roquan. You pay Roquan. Where does that hold off for Montgomery if he puts up a top 3 running back this year?
Y'all not gonna like this, man. But
I know what you're gonna say, Herb.
They're not gonna pay Monty no matter what.
Yeah, I love Monte. I'd love for Monte to stay, but if you have a good backup running back right now, you're not going to go spend a fortune to repay.
That's the thing. It's not just about you got to have a guy that's versatile. You just can't have a one-trick pony. And tell you the truth, that's all Khalil Herbert is. He can't catch worse shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only his second year. I mean, we did just draft another running back who is a good service.
Travis Ebner
too. Treston Ebner is
I much rather have a guy that can do it all than a guy where I'm like, okay, well, let me throw in this guy because.
But to Herb's point,
see, I'm with you on that. Listen, I love David Montgomery. I think he's a phenomenal back. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, unless you are like all world, I'm talking Adrian Peterson in his prime. I'm talking what's the kid right now? Derrick Henry. If you're not that, we can find another. I can find another guy that's gonna give me 1,000, 1,100 yards. It's just the facts. I can find another running back to do that.
It's sad,
especially in this system. Yeah, it is sad. Now I want Demo to get his money, and I think he's a great player.
He will get his money.
Yeah, I think he'll get his money. I don't think that he will.
It might not be a Bear.
I don't think he's gonna be looking to like set the precedent as far as with running back. I think he will come back on a team friendly deal. To be honest with you, but it's all about Chicago and see if he wants to sit up there and pay. If he wants to pay him what what he think that he's worth.
But we don't have a direction of where Poles goes to because right now we don't know where he wants to spend his money. It's almost like
we don't even know that some bitch want to spend
the money. He wants to hoard the money, and it's like that's not gonna improve the team. 2 things for sure. 1 thing for certain. When you had Mike Singletary, you paid that man, right? When you had Brian Urlacher, you paid that man.
Lance Briggs, you paid him.
You paid that man. When you got certain people in certain positions,
we don't have Brian Urlacher. We don't have Lance Briggs. We don't have none of that shit.
Yes, you do. Roquan Smith is up there.
Roquan Smith, mark it down now, is the next.
Hey, Terrence, I wish I could mute you right now.
I can mute him. I got that access, don't I?
Because Roquan Smith right now is the next.
All right, he's muted. We're good.
Bears linebacker lore. And God forbid,
listen, I heard y'all
to the Chargers or something, and blows up or the Packers or whatever. And we had this kid in our backyard, and all we see is Ryan Poles counting the dollars, and hell, we ain't signed nobody.
I heard at the top of the show talking about the other position that we known for, running back, and I heard y'all talk about Sweetness and Gale Sayers and Matt Forte. And people talking about how Matt Forte don't belong in that conversation. That's how you sound right now when you talk about Roquan, right? he belongs in the conversation.
Absolutely,
right? Absolutely. And I know he's got to stack another 4, 5, 6 years, but I think he's absolutely going to do that. Like he's that kind of talent. He's that kind of worker, and we've seen him do it on the field. It's not like we ain't seen it. Like you know the statistics. You've seen the production. The man's getting pick sixes. He's forcing fumbles. He's making plays sideline to sideline. Like. I don't know what you want to see from him, but this dude is that. And if he's the Bear for a decade, it's gonna go Buckus, Singletary, Lack, Briggs, Roquan.
I don't disagree with that. I definitely agree that in time he can be that, but right now he don't necessarily belong in that conversation.
I said he's up that hill.
I mean, you're not going to be able to have that conversation if you don't pay the man. If you think he is going to be in that conversation, then shut the hell up and pay him.
Because I put it to you like this: if your ass don't pay him, somebody else will. Or somebody else
will. Team out there will put in money to pay.
I tell you right now, who's definitely gonna be knocking on his door? Them goddamn Atlanta Bears. They gonna be knocking on his door real quick.
Right. Yes, they already got 2 of the GMs who wanted him.
They got a top 5 linebacker down there that he can pair with. Shit. Like, come
The
on, like,
Detroit Lions are looking for a running back.
look, if David Montgomery was to go
I think Demo will be a Lion next year. G. For real. I said that earlier. I said that at practice today, man.
Wait, you said Debo? No, I was saying it as a joke, man.
I wasn't joking.
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
I said it at practice today. I'm not joking, right? A lot of times you see these guys who everybody that's kind of around them knows their value, but for whatever reason they leave their own team, they don't go far. They go to the dude they've been kicking his ass twice a year for 4 or 5 years. The Lions know he the deal. You know what I mean? And so they like, hey, y'all don't want him? Shit, he been busting my ass for 4 or 5 years. Send him up here.
Adrian Amos.
I would be surprised at all.
You throw out another team out there though. If Ezekiel Elliott keeps tearing his vagina over in Dallas right now, like he's gonna be gone too.
What is
possibility? But you look around your division. The Vikings got cooked, and the Packers got Jones.
You're right there. Packers got a good one too. There's no question.
My first pick would be that.
But why would you go to Detroit unless they
pay you?
They're paying.
Right. Yeah, if they pay.
They ain't them cheap ass Bears. At least cheap ass GM so far. But we gonna see what he gonna be able to do. Shit, he gonna have a shitload of money next year. And like I was telling JB before, all them damn receivers getting their ass locked up.
He about to have a baby too. He gonna be highly motivated.
DK gone, Colin gone. What's his name? Tyler over there, Washington. He gone.
Hey, but like I told you, you gonna have to pay somebody. So somebody gonna get $20 million. Somebody.
Yeah, but who?
That's what we don't know about polls. If he wants to keep his money, like I'm a cop right now on the Bears, we have 2 celebrities. We have Velvet Jones. And we have
A-list.
We got Velvet Jones.
He doesn't even think about it anymore. He just says Velvet. He just says Velvet. He doesn't even think about it anymore.
Hey, call it what you want. I'll be the martyr. I'll take the knives. Everybody can,
trademark that shit, man. Get those jerseys printed out.
You don't like the kid?
No. I mean, so Herb, I'm a student of the game, so I know what Velvet.
Why you dissing them there and calling him Velvet Jones?
I know what Velvet Jones is, but them comparing him to that Deebo Samuel thing on size and build only. But remember, Deebo Samuels wasn't Deebo Samuels when he first got here. They just did that shit last year because it was like, hey, let him run the ball. It was like a gimmick. It was like the what's that shit? No, what's that formation we hate when the quarterback ain't in and the running back be quarterback?
Wildcat.
Wildcat. Like the Wildcat. Short-lived. It ain't, and once people pick up to it. But we have been sorely missing a wide receiver that can run the complete route tree. And we know Velus is not that.
No. He's not that yet.
You said
he's not that yet. He's 25. He ain't never been that.
I know. But I mean, if there's one positive thing we can...
Hey, he's a specialist. He's a guy. I hope he wins the kick return job.
He's a specialist.
And he's also a guy that you put out in the slot. And I think if the nickel corner is 5 or 6 yards off of him, it should be.
If you're gonna leave that guy one-on-one.
Just give him the ball. Just give him the ball right now. If the slot corner is 5 or 6 yards off of him, it should be automatic. Snap, throw it out there, let him get that 5. He's also a thick dude. He's not one of these small receivers in the mode of like a.
No, he's like 216, right?
He's not one of these fast guys we've signed over the past few years. He's fast and he's thick. Like he has the potential to break that first tackle and turn that 5 and 6 into 80. He's got that kind of ability with the ball in his hands. You get him on some jet sweeps, those kind of things. I think he can be a weapon for you. I'm not saying he's the guy or nothing like that, but he can certainly be a weapon for you in the kicking game and in some of those kind of gadgets, those bubble screens, those jet sweeps, those types of things.
I was looking for him to be the guy that's like, okay, every now and again, just burn deep and I'm going to take the deep shot, but also playing that Jakeem Grant role where we want to get him the ball in space, get him the ball in motion and stuff. But again, that is short-lived. We have a lot of players over the years. I don't know when N'Keal Henry is going to be, but, the Daz Newsomes, what was my man from the 49ers we got? Him.
Yeah.
Like we've gotten guys like that before, and they just haven't panned out. So I was not ecstatic. Like, man, we got Velvet Jones. Like I was not happy.
I don't think a lot of people in Chicago were understanding.
And I saw what he did in Tennessee, and it was still like, meh.
He's fast.
He's fast, man.
But I mean, seeing him one-on-one and somebody trying to play him close, he's gonna blow you out 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Herb, is he really that damn fast as they say?
It's legit. It translates on the field. He's not track fast. The dude is football fast. Like
he's football fast. That's what we want. Football fast.
He's football fast.
Nobody gives a shit about
6
track
feet,
fast.
6'1", 215. He's not 5'9", $180. He's not that. This dude is solid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's and his speed translate on the field. You see it. It's a different gear. And I'm talking about different gear next to Mooney, next to Pringle, next to fast dudes. He's got a different gear. You can see it in the kick return game when he's back there returning kicks. You can see it when he catches a bubble screen. He's a different gear. Does he need to fine-tune his route running and all that? Absolutely. I'm not even saying he's this big downfield threat. I still think Mooney is your best downfield threat, and then maybe Pringle can help you in that department too. I don't know that Velus Jones is quite ready in terms of his detailed route running to say, oh, I'm going to post corner you, I'm going to double move you, or I'm even going to run a straight go and then stack you and catch. I don't know that he's that just yet. But if you get the ball in his hands as quickly as you can, he can absolutely take a slant, split that linebacker, and go. Like,
and he can take the hit. He can. I saw that in Tennessee. He can take the hit.
He can take the hit, which makes him different from most speed dudes.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about another wide receiver. How is St. Brown looking?
Oh, good question.
It's a good question. He's
got his name at camp.
No,
he's got the.
I've heard his name. I saw some highlights.
I didn't see some highlights.
They were saying something about him yesterday.
None of them dudes are going crazy right now, but he has the size. His size is legit, and he knows the system better than anybody else on the team right now.
Sure.
Right? Him and Lucas Patrick, right? And so, he's helping guys out in terms of getting guys lined up and understanding where guys are supposed to be. We're hearing the other receivers talking about going to him in meetings and asking him questions and things like that. And so I think he's definitely, worth bringing him over. We got to see what it translates to on the field. If you can get all of these guys going, imagine you got a package, a goal line or red zone package where you've got EQ out there, you've got NQ out there, you've got Cole Kmet, you're going 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", all in the red zone. You got some mismatches that should be able to take advantage of if all of these guys can pan out for you. It's going to take some things coming together, but I do like his size and his understanding of the offense. I think makes him a valuable piece. You look at this wide receiver core and you assume that they're going to keep 6, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to keep Mooney. They're going to keep Velus because they just drafted him. They're going to keep Pringle because of his contract. Mm-hmm. I think they keep EQ because his size, he knows the system. And so those are your top 4 right now. And then you try to figure out, okay, who are the other guys going to be? Is NQ the other guy because they spent the 7th round pick on him? Probably. I think he probably is one of the other guys. And then you're talking about, Dante Pettis or whomever it's going to be, right? And I think that EQ is definitely one of the guys that's going to be on this team. He has nice size. He understands the system. He has some value to them right now. But in terms of, am I seeing him out there making, dropping plays out there? No, none of them are. None of them are right now.
So are you looking at him goal line only, or is he competing for like that 3rd or 4th spot, or maybe 4th or 5th?
I asked him specifically last week. I said, have you ever been in a wide receiver competition? Have you ever even seen a wide receiver competition like this?
Who this?
I asked Equanimous St. Brown this.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in a competition where literally all these receivers that are competing right now could literally be either the number 2 receiver on the team or not make the roster? Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy to me, right? To even be in that type of competition. And, maybe you can look at it glass half full if you want, or you can look at it glass half empty. But either way, it's just a real interesting thing when you say, well, N'Keal Harry could be the number 2 receiver on this team, or he could not make the team. EQ could be the number 2 receiver on the team, or he could not make the team. That's uncommon. Then you look around the league and you look at the Rams. They got 4 guys who would be number 1 receiver for the Bears. You talk about Cooper Kupp, A-Rob, Vance Jefferson, OBJ, all 4 of them will be number 1 on the Bears roster right now. And the Bears got 6 dudes who could be number 2 or cut. It's wild as hell. It's a really interesting thing that they're dealing with right now. It really is.
I don't like that though, Herb. That's not good.
I didn't say it was good. I'm saying it's the truth.
Yeah.
No, it ain't good.
one other receiver I wanted to bring up, you did say his name, and that was Khalil Harry. Like, obviously he had an issue over in New England. A lot of people have issues with Bill Belichick. It's common. But how is he like? Is he like fitting in and kind of bringing in a good culture? Because I feel like that was the big question mark. Is he going to come in here and just tear apart this culture that the Bears are trying to create right now? Or is he fitting in very well?
You know, I don't know what the issue was in New England. To me, it's always a red flag when Bill Belichick casts somebody off. They don't usually get rid of talent, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of coming in, he said all the right things. He seems to be doing all the right things. I asked him that specifically. I said, listen, it didn't work out for you in New England. And some people say if it didn't work out for you in New England, it probably won't work out for you anywhere. Why will it work out for you here? And he said, listen, man, I got a huge chip on my shoulder. He said, I got a lot of proof. I got a lot to prove. He says, I think I fit well in this system, and I just want to show everybody how dominant I can be. Now, those are his words. I want to show how dominant I can be. The first round guy, we've seen what he can do in college.
He's understand got the talent, man.
We understand the physicality and the talent. Like, he has the tools. For whatever reason, it didn't come together. He's highly motivated, and if it can come together for him.
But he also was in a strange situation because he went from Tom Brady. I'm not mistaken. He went from Tom
Brady, Newton, Mac Jones.
Yeah,
that was kind of weird as a first round pick, mind you.
Yeah, not ideal for any young receiver in this league. You know what I mean? So he has an opportunity. Again, this is a wide receiver core where anybody who wants it can step up. You know what I mean? I'm reminded of that scene in The Wire after Omar shot Weebay and killed the other dude, and he like, yo, everybody in the room like, one of y'all can step up. I'm talking about anybody. Anybody just step up. And I think that's kind of where this receiving core is. Mooney's going to be the guy that's probably most targeted. All of the rest of these guys have an opportunity from the number 2 guy to the number 7 or 8 guy have the opportunity to ascend in this league right now. Somebody's got to take advantage of it, and I think N'Keal Harry may be the guy.
Yeah, and I for one, loved that trade that the Bears made right there because I felt like you got a first-round talent with a lot of potential for, frankly, nothing. Yeah. You're not going to – you lost a 7th-round pick. Like, I mean, on a gamble on a specific position that we desperately needed size on.
Yeah, there's not going to be a 7th round pick next year that's better than N'Keal Harry.
No, I agree. I thought that was great value. Again, I just like the rest of us. I just look at 3 years in under the guru. Most people they usually stick with that guy.
Yeah.
Nah, that fucker, he'd be quick to get rid of your ass now.
Well, I'm talking about
he will get rid of you, but there's not a lot of examples of guys that he got rid of that went on to be
successful.
Extremely productive players in this league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always a red flag when they get rid of somebody. You know, it's like, they must be done. Even whether that's on the front end, they get rid of you young, or on the back end. Like a lot of they signed a lot of veterans on some last chance shit. And if it didn't work out there, now it's time to go ahead and hop into broadcasting or whatever you're gonna do after football.
Yeah, I mean, and they run a good system over there because they got some guys that technically look great in their system, and then once they out of that motherfucker, they look like fucking trash.
That's true too.
So,
we just gotta hope that this new system actually looks like it can be sustained for success because we don't know. We don't know.
If you don't let your quarterback get sacked 12 times a game, then it's a successful system.
It sounds like Tyke Tolbert is, I think that's his name.
That's the wide receivers coach.
Wide receivers coach. He has to gather all these number 2, number 3, number 4 guys, and he just has to ask them.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
I'm saying it right now. Cole Kmet ain't going to be a sheep. He's going to be a wolf.
I get it.
He's going to be a wolf or a sheep.
I get it.
You can get the fuck out of here. We need a wolf. So I have a game. We about to see who the wolf is. I'm only going to ask 5 questions.
Wait, is this How Chicago Are You?
No, this ain't How Chicago Are You. No, it's not that. It's a little Chicago trivia, but they are kind of lobs. It's Chicago sports trivia. So Sizzle, you can get in this.
Okay.
If it was a Chicago game, I don't know if Sizzle would do too good.
Gary, Indiana. We've already said that's practically
Right. Chicago, but not
You from
quite.
GI, Sizzle?
Yes, sir. GI till I
Okay.
die.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Respect.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, number one, what was the nickname of the non-existent Chicago Stadium?
Come again?
What was the nickname of the now non-existent Chicago Stadium?
The Bulls, old Bulls Stadium?
Oh.
Jesus.
I got nothing for you on that.
I just want, I've always called it Chicago Stadium, old stadium thing where you could hit your head on the going up the stairs to the
On
second
the
floor.
girders, yep.
You
Yeah.
said what was the nickname?
The nickname.
What, the Madhouse on Madison?
No, that's the new one.
Yes.
No, that was the old one.
Yeah,
They
that
also
was
They were both
refer-
Madhouse on Madison.
They
Okay.
also refer to
they
the
brought the
United
Madhouse
Center
back over to the
as the Madhouse on Madison.
Yep.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it
cool.
started.
that
with,
was the true Madhouse because that shit was loud at the
it
time.
started with the Chicago Stadium, but yeah,
Okay,
they
cool.
still called the United Center that.
Okay.
I didn't know
All
they
right.
called Chicago Stadium that. Okay.
Chris, you're not supposed to answer this for the two guests.
Yeah, Chris, you ain't
Oh
supposed to
shit,
say
my
shit.
bad. Damn, you said everybody played my fucking bad.
No, I didn't.
T Nick, I have to
lie.
side with Foulmouth. You did say everybody can play.
I
No, you
did
didn't.
not. I said
2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Okay.
I'm about to silence you, Frank. Number two. Who is the Bears interception leader? And with how many?
Oh, shit.
Is it Mark Carrier with 20?
Mm-mm.
No, I think he only had the rookie record.
Lord, I want to say Mike Brown, but it's not Mike Brown. You're gonna kill me with the number of interceptions. I'm trying to think if I know what generation, if he is an 80s dude or if he's back
Sizzle,
in.
pulling up that Google.
Let me
What?
Pulling up Google. Right?
No
I
Google?
know who
No
it is,
Google?
but let me know when I can chime in and throw some hints on it. I'll throw it out.
Yeah,
It was an 80s guy.
It's
There's a
80s
hint.
guy.
All right, Frank, I'm about to mute you now.
Then it's Gary Fensick?
About to mute you now.
Is Gary Fensick or not?
Yeah, it's Gary Fensick.
Gary Fensick. Now,
It's Gary Fensick. With how many?
I don't know. Maybe like his number 47.
Right, let's go with that. 46.
Right.
That's not it, but you got the Gary Fensick part right. All right,
What is it,
now
20
we can
something?
unmute Frank.
How many picks
Yeah,
he
he
had?
really did mute my ass. Look at that
Yeah,
shit.
he did.
Yeah, I did, because you throwing out hints and shit.
Oh,
How many
Help out
picks he had?
somehow, otherwise we're gonna be here all day.
No, he
Picks he
wasn't.
had, T?
No, he wasn't. He had
No faith
38.
in the guest.
If I didn't throw in 80s, would we have guessed
38.
Gary Fensick?
No,
I
I was
bet
I
you
was,
he
I was
wouldn't
at
have been
Mark
here all
Carrier
day. I
and
would have cut it
Peanut.
off after 10
Yeah, but
seconds.
you was close with Mark Carrier as a safety because I could have been like, it's,
Yeah.
it's not who you thought. I knew it was him.
Yep.
Okay.
'Cause I certainly thought about Mark Carrier too.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah,
all
that
right.
was a good guess. All right. So number 3, what running back has thrown the most touchdowns in Bears history? And how
Walter.
many?
6.
Close.
Is it Walter Payton though?
Yeah, it is. It is Walter Payton. That was a lob.
The passes was lobs too. You know,
I would say 10.
8.
Okay.
8. So
Okay, we
both
split the
y'all
difference.
close. Both y'all close.
we both won.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how many.
So,
I knew it was Walter.
Number 4
All right.
isn't necessarily a sports question,
Okay.
The Lovables.
but
We can talk about the Honey Bears.
Chicago style hot dog.
The
That's it.
refrigerator.
That's all you need to know.
but I will ask it anyway.
Moving
It's kind
on.
of a hard question though.
Okay.
More annoying.
I like that one.
I like that too.
More annoying.
That's
Hey,
right.
it was nothing like walking through that thick ass plastic when you first walked.
Oh,
through.
get you that baby
On
baby
Stony?
back.
On Stony?
Yeah, on Stony.
Yes, sir. Right on Stony.
Yes, sir.
No, it's an opinion question.
Okay.
Oh,
Who has the best pizza in
I
Chicago?
know what
Knew that was coming. Knew that was coming.
Oh, man.
Italian Fiesta, man.
You know, you got people.
That's why Herbs don't
Giordano's. You got.
You said McDonald's?
He
said Giordano's.
That'd be some disgusting stuff right there.
What's in your cup, T?
Oh my goodness.
Chicken nugget pizza right there.
My mother, she swears by what's that thing over there in Bridgeview?
Please don't say it.
Home Run Inn?
No, the
In
one
Bridgeview. I lived in Bridgeview. What the hell's in Bridgeview?
What's the one that's under the bridge? It's Riccabini's.
Bridgeport.
Oh no, Riccabini's. Oh, they got good sandwiches.
Bridgeport, Riccabini's.
They got great sandwiches.
Yeah, Riccabini's. Good. That steak sandwich.
I was just like Bridgeview. I was like, wait,
that's a Bridgeview? Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, I said I lived in Bridge. That was in Bridgeport, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Bridgeport.
Okay, I was like, I never heard of that in no Bridge.
Right over there on 26. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that was.
She loves Riccabini's. So if you ask her,
that's a cop joint.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh yeah, they over there like
question. What Chicagoan has successfully done the Lambeau Leap?
Me.
Are you sure about that?
I did it last year.
Wait, didn't we said successful, right?
That means he completed it.
It says successfully.
What Chicago player
do
or
we
what
call
Chicago?
No, just say any.
Damn it, you dropped it again.
I don't know why I keep grabbing.
It didn't look like no success.
I don't know if I would call that a success.
All right, so that's hilarious. First of all,
Put an A for effort on that one.
I posted that on my own because I thought it was hilarious. But I do have the video of my 6th attempt in which I made it up there. Okay,
your 6th attempt. Where's the 6th attempt?
Let me see. Hey, you ain't had a fan there to pull your ass up.
Right, hey, thank you. See, let him know. Listen, first of all, it seems easier than it is. And then you get there and that wall is actually fucking high.
No,
and
it doesn't.
I've been sitting down for 3 hours in the fucking press box.
Right. That doesn't seem easy, sir.
I ain't got the adrenaline of scoring a touchdown. I'm just trying to do the shit, and I don't have nobody pulling me up either.
No, sir.
It's terrible. It took me 6 times. Hey, I damn near broke my phone. Like, it fell in my pocket. Like,
yeah, we saw that.
Yeah,
you break your Sacarailiac trying to get up there.
That little shuffle before he accelerated.
It was bad, bro.
That was dope.
That was dope. Accelerated, bro.
Yeah,
accelerated. Right, that little putt.
All I gotta say is that first attempt was not success.
That might have been like 4. Man. That's why I was so dejected when I came down again. Like, oh, still.
Yeah, you had that dejected look, like down pat.
That was. I'm telling you, that was like the 4th. It was bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was bad.
That's all right.
Bad.
That's all right, man.
Oh man.
Hey, at least you tried it, because
Right.
would not even let me.
It was on my bucket list.
At least you
So
what's the answer to the 5th question? Nobody?
We got to see that video of the 6th if we're gonna answer that question.
Well, he said he got the footage of the successful attempt.
Hey,
I should have
known when you had found that video when you asked that question. I should have known. I'm saying like me. I should have known you found that damn video on my social media. Your ass crazy.
I thought you were gonna say Spice Adams. That's what I thought. This was
Spice.
Right. I thought bruh had tried it. Like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
That would be hilarious. Beyond hilarious.
Week 2, I'm doing it again. I'm stretching. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna post it once you do it. I'm gonna do it.
Get taped for it. I can't wait. I can't wait. Man, this has been fun, man. This whole panel, man. You all are really in tune with what's going on. And we like to talk to people that are in tune and actually have intelligent things to say about the Bears instead of meathead fans like me just saying shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he don't know shit.
I'm just kidding, but still, yeah, we appreciate dudes that actually know what the hell they're talking about, because this is the podcast where we don't know what the fuck we talking about. So,
that's not true.
Thank you.
That's a rumor. It's always a
slogan.
pleasure to hang out with y'all and talk ball with y'all for that very reason, because y'all do know the game. Y'all do know what y'all looking at. Y'all know how to break it down, and y'all keep it a buck about what y'all seeing. And I just appreciate that, man. It's interesting for me, having been a Bears fan my entire life, to now being on the Bears beat, and then kind of trying to separate those two, right? As a Bears fan, I've always just kind of viewed this thing through my heart, and everybody was fucking great. And ain't nobody played bad. Ain't nobody had bad practices. As a reporter, it's just my job to go out there and honestly evaluate it and report what I saw. But then when I do that, Bears fans are like, what the fuck you mean Justin Fields didn't look good today? He always looked good. No, he didn't. I was standing right there. He did not look good. Like, I don't care what you say, he didn't look good.
When you see the good plays on social media, yeah, he looks good. But the people there actually post the bad plays.
Listen, man, he missed N'Keal Harry by 20 yards today, right? And not
on the deep throw?
Yeah, not so much on. So somebody posted a picture, right? And they were like, all the Bears reporters were saying they missed him by 20 yards. And I didn't say that anyway, but I was standing literally, that happened in the back of that end zone. I was standing in the front corner of that end zone. And we were all standing right there. He missed him, not so much on the throw by 20 yards, but N'Keal Harry was open for 20 yards. But because, again, Justin is working to get through his progressions.
Late.
He was late getting to him. That should have been an easy walk-in touchdown. It shouldn't have been a jump ball in the back of the end zone. He was by himself from the 10-yard line, and then to the point he broke to the back corner of the end zone. He was all alone. And Justin didn't see him until the last 5 yards of the end zone. Then he just heaved the ball over there that went way over his head. People were like, oh, N'Keal Harry's supposed to have a 38-inch vertical. Go up and get it. Like, go up and get it. Like, the dude been open. Like, what are you talking? But people, it's the fandom, and it's like, as a fan, I get it. I don't want to say anything bad about Justin either. I'm on record that I think the kid's going to be great. I still believe that. But I have to tell you that he's struggling right now. It's just what it is.
Brand new rookie season.
It's his processing. Processing. He has not been able to take in that whole offensive playbook, and being, I'll say it again, a rookie quarterback.
Yes.
Coming into a season where he is the man now. And Herb, to your point, this is not what he saw at Ohio State.
Ohio State, he had players open 20 yards like away from like separation. Like,
he also had the best O-line.
Best O-line, best receiving core, best head coach. He had everything, man.
We're going to have to rely on his tools, because that process, we already know he scored one of the highest on, is it called the Wonderlic still?
The Wonderlic.
Yeah.
He recorded, I think, the highest, right? I think
the highest,
he did ever. The highest ever.
So we know he's highly intelligent. Now, sometimes the processing.
Football intelligence is different.
There you go. I was going to say, Frank, the processing isn't just
like football speed is different than track speed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think he has it. I think he has everything he needs to, realize his potential. I think his potential is very, very high. I think his ceiling is elite. I think he can get there. It's going to take some work, and it's just not ideal for him to be in his second offense in as many years. It's not ideal. It's going to take some time. And, as he grows through that process, if reporters are doing daily reports, not, 5-year outlooks, but daily reports, I got to tell you that for the past few practices, he's struggling. That's just the facts. That's just the truth. And people.
I want to hear that now, as opposed to the last regime, when we hear about the great days of practice, and it's like, if they had so many great days of practice, why does it look like trash on the field?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd rather hear your side, and I thank you and appreciate what you bring, because now you have delusional Bears fans that's trying to figure out, well, if he looks great every practice, what's the problem? Oh, it's the coaching. Oh, it's this and the third. No, sometimes it's just that person.
That's it. We've all played sports before, man. We understand that you're not always on your best. You're going to have rough days. You're going to have a process of learning a new system or playing for new coaches or getting acclimated to new teammates. It's just a process. And again, right now, it's my job to report on this process. And I can't wait until my reports are Justin Fields is on fucking fire today in practice, and he hit 9 out of 10 in the 2-minute drill, or he did this, that, in the 4-minute drill. He was ripping the defense apart. I can't wait to do that. I want to do that. I am a Bears fan first. I've been a Bears fan way before I was a beat reporter. But the truth is the truth. And right now he's struggling. I think he'll overcome it. He'll be fine. Bears fans are going to have to be patient and understand that this probably isn't the year where you're going to see, Hall of Fame type play from QB1. Yeah, that's what it is. It's what it is.
I mean, all we just waiting for is for that light to turn on. And when
Absolutely.
that motherfucker turn on,
yeah, it's gonna be bright.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Be bright.
That's my hot take for 2024. Justin Fields will be, if still in Chicago, will be the best QB in the NFC.
I'm taking that stock. I'm taking that.
Aaron Rodgers will be a dinosaur.
No, he might be retired. So
He won't be in the
That's what I
league.
meant by a dinosaur.
He won't be in the league.
Extinct. He'll be
him
extinct.
and Tom Brady should be gone.
Unless he grows that mustache.
A-Rod will still be playing, but I'm buying that. I'm buying that for sure. I think that's the Bears win. That's the Bears' realistic window to compete for a Super Bowl. 24 and 25. That's Justin's 4th and 5th year with the team. That's the end of his rookie deal, and I think that's their window to win a Super Bowl. This year, they kind of set their foundation, their culture. They're already doing that. It's gonna look sloppy at times. Next year, they got the cap space. They got the full allotment of draft picks. They bring in some more talent. They begin to compete. They work their way into the playoffs. But 24 and 25, that's their realistic window to win a Super Bowl and compete seriously for one. And so, I'm fully on board with you, Sizzle. I think that's the year where we'll see Justin in that conversation for MVP, and that those types of things will be happening for him then. And I have no doubt about it for him. He's got the physical tools, and I think he has the mental and emotional makeup to realize it. It's just going to take some time.
I'm going to leave and close it with this. Justin and DK sounds good to me. Go on, T.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Print it.
I can only hope.
You mentioned Chris.
I want DK so bad.
That shit ain't happening. That motherfucker signed his deal.
DK is not coming to Chicago.
DK gonna sign this deal, man. That shit ain't happening.
Right. Ever. You dream.
DK loves Chicago.
Anyway,
he love money more.
Sizzle and Herb, we appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being knowledgeable about the Bears so we can speak intelligently about it. We appreciate that. So y'all have a good one. I'm gonna go to bed because I'm going to practice tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll see you, Herb.
I'll be out there.
And
hit me up.
All right, for sure.
And next time I come back on, man, we got to talk about the diminutive Chicago Bulls players and why they're opposed to drafting anyone tall. Anyway, so
we'll talk about that. It was Jerry Ryan's.
I'll be sick that day.
Okay.
All right. Sizzle, where can we find you? Because a lot of us do not know. Let us.
All
where
right.
can we find you?
If you're looking for anything that we do, we're Iron Skillet Sports. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any social media. We're even on TikTok. All you have to do is look for Iron Skillet Sports. We're there. If you want to find our videos, we're there on YouTube. So you can always find us at Iron Skillet Sports. And the show is The Sizzle, the talk of the 219, the hottest talk in the 219. And it's my partner and I, Jay Sizzle. I'm G Sizzle. That's where you'll find us, Iron Skillet Sports. You can find us anywhere. We're universal.
That sounded like a commercial.
I was just going to say
that sounded like a radio.
I want my drop right there in the back bridge.
In the Iron Sizzle skillet. What you talking about?
Oh, baby, you put it in the sizzle, it makes it hot. That's all. Everything that comes out, everything that comes out the skillet's hot.
So, Herb, where they can find you at?
Man, you can find me on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. You can find me at It's the Bigs. I cover the Chicago Bears for the Bigs Media here in Chicago. Find us there, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we definitely following. We definitely following both.
Yes,
appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep up the great work. Y'all do phenomenal work here, man. It's important. It's necessary. And y'all do a great fucking job at it. Salute.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all.
All right. Great having you guys.
Peace, brothers. I appreciate it.
Later.
You know it, brother.
Well, guys, we went well over 2 hours today, but I think it was pretty worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just went and tried to jump on and join. Yes.
We definitely have to at least acknowledge
for sure
losing like one of the GOATs in Bill Russell. We definitely have to acknowledge that he was actually bigger than just basketball.
Absolutely.
You know, we're talking about a man who couldn't even use certain bathrooms because of his skin color.
And was winning his town championships during that time.
For those same people who wouldn't let him use the bathroom.
Yes.
And that racist ass city.
And that record will never be broken. Nobody's hitting no 11 championships. Unless you're LeBron James, who has to run team to team to go find
it. He can't even sniff shit.
He's too late now, yeah.
When we talk about Michael Jordan, yeah, he was a great basketball. He was a GOAT of basketball.
Yes.
But
he didn't have to deal with the shit that Bill Russell had.
That iconic photo
was a GOAT
Bill Russell
and life.
He transcended basketball to life. That iconic photo, I'll never forget it. Bill Russell, Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Very telling, very influential, very powerful. Never forget it. But that's a great loss. I know we didn't want to get into it. Anybody care to give a reaction on Deshaun Watson case?
No.
Very, very unexpected.
We'll talk about that next week.
I'll just say this. Interesting.
I did get a lot of likes when I put up the Calvin Ridley got suspended for another full year for betting on the Deshaun Watson case.
Oh.
Yeah, so anyway, I think we should go ahead and get to shout outs. We're not going to talk about Deshaun Watson. So you want to kick it off, JB?
Basically, I just want to, shout out to our guest. It was great. Sizzle has he's one of us, man. He's got a really good mind, and I love his takes on things. But more than anything, like Herb, we love Herb and everything. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. That chat. Oh,
that was on fire today, man. Damn.
Gee, I'm not going to take everybody else's thunder. I'll let some familiar people, like we said, Skylar, Bullets, and everything. Some of my people out there. I'll let y'all come up the rear and tell the rest of the people what's going on with the chat. The chat was on fire. I just saw
freaking music.
Somebody brand new, T-Nick, no longer a lurker. A young lady by the name of Candace N. Mack.
I saw that, Candace.
Candace, yeah.
First time. Don't know where she's coming from, but we thank you. And hey,
that spicy Candace.
What did Ice Cube say on Friday? Come back. And like I said, shout out to y'all, shout out to my moms, and just for everybody that's out there in Pizza Lane in Chicago, a lot of people hit me like, "Hey JB, when we live here, we don't buy that deep dish shit." And I'm like, I know. We go to Italian UPS and get the 10 crust. I got it.
McDonald's deep dishes.
McDonald's deep dish.
McDonald's.
Hey, it sounded like he said McDonald's.
It did.
McDonald's.
I knew what he meant, but it did come out sounding like McDonald's. You're putting them chicken nuggets up on that pizza cheese right there.
Oh God. See, it's on you.
So me, okay. Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my guests. They did a great job today. It was great talking to those brothers. Very informative and giving us, like you said, Herb, he's out there. He's seen what's been going on for camp. And he gave us the real. He didn't give us the shit that, to make the fan base feel good. He gave us real shit. So do appreciate that. Sizzle. Sound like a damn commercial, but the man's very knowledgeable as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat. The chat was lit tonight. Shout out to all the new people that we had. Come on back. And also remember to like and subscribe to the Chicago Clubhouse Podcast. Shout out to the kiddies. Doing pre-show, their asses all over the place. Then they shut up when they rooms chilled out. Can't really talk too much about them. Can't take no phones because they don't have to go to bed because it's fucking summertime. The school is right around the corner. Shout out to any family members. Shout out to y'all brothers. JB, Frank the Tate, T. Nick Bellone as the lurker and look like a damn pedophile with that damn this fucking with no facial hair and shit.
I had to cut it off, man.
He is pulling out the Lovey Smith from that 2006 right now, though, fully shaved.
Shout out to John's mom. Shout out to my mom, family members, everybody. We love you. Good night and God bless.
Rank the tank.
Well, I mean, all the usuals. Skylark, Bullets was on fire today too. The Chicago Clubhouse mom. Like, that's what she should be known for. Always happy to see her on here. Don Burr, yeah, freaking Lions, freaking guy. Love having you on here though, man. We'll always tear you down whenever you come on here. So keep coming on here. Keep coming. It's not hard to troll them right now, so we're in good shape there. Shout out to all you guys. Love having you on here. T, yeah, grow the beard back, man. Not a fan.
Oh my God, y'all are really doing this right now.
Other than that, hey, great guest.
One last
great
thing.
Great
Rest
show.
in peace, Bill Russell, man.
Yep. That's it, Frank?
Oh, that was it. Yeah, I thought you said like a moment of silence for Bill Russell. I thought that's what
we did. Like 5 seconds.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to keep it short.
Bullets, man.
I definitely want to shout out the guests, Herb and Sizzle. Those two were great, man. And Herb and Sizzle, they were great. And Sizzle's information is you can go to The Sizzle. Just put it in the search box. The Sizzle.
What platform, T?
I think on all of them.
Oh, all of them?
Facebook. I haven't seen him on Twitter. He said Twitter, but I've never seen him on Twitter. But I guess if you're saying it must be. But I usually see it on Facebook, and I just put in The Sizzle, and it comes up. So definitely go check him out. And Herb, gotta check him out. The Bigs Media. They're on Twitter as The Bigs. And then also Facebook, they have a group page of The Bigs Media or The Big Sports Group, something like that. Then they're also on Instagram. I forgot what they are on Instagram, but definitely check them out. It's Herb Howard, Eugene McIntosh, and
man Gene.
Terrence Tomlin. All about Chicago sports. They dive into high school basketball, a lot of baseball, Cubs and White Sox who are sucking right now, but they talk to guys like Tim Anderson, and they talk to a lot of dudes, man. So definitely check them out. I want to shout out to my guy, Tommy Harris. We're going to try to get Tommy back on the podcast, but he has a book called Endure. That's the shirt that I'm wearing. You might want to check out that book. It's a really good read. It's not toilet reading. It's actually a good book. You will sit on your sofa and read it, or read it before you go to bed. You know, Tommy's been through a lot. So he put it on paper, and it's inspiring. It's really good. So check that out. I want to shout out everybody in the chat. I'm not going to go by name because they already did it. But the new people, we definitely appreciate you. The lurkers, we appreciate y'all too. Even though you may not have said nothing, we appreciate it anyway. Anybody that's watching, family. And I think that's about it. Do we have like any last words?
That's it.
We just want our baby back ribs.
You want more baby.
Oh, you are. Oh, my last word. I'm actually going to the Bears practice tomorrow, and if Justin Fields is stinking it up, man, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna be real disappointed. But I mean, you know, like you all always say, it's his rookie season.
Yeah,
pretty
he's
much.
gonna have his ups and downs, man.
Pretty much, it's his rookie season. He's in a new regime, so. But I'm still gonna be a little bit disappointed if I see him stinking it up. They're in pads. So now we are going to see, okay, what can you do here in pads and closer to a game situation? As I said earlier, it's not completely a game situation because you know they ain't going 100%.
Right.
So, but they actually do have the pads on. So now the running is going to be different. Everything's going to be different. Everybody look good in shorts and a t-shirt playing football. Everybody look good doing that. But now we about to see some real shit. So it'll be fun to watch, man. It'll be really fun to watch. Oh, got to shout out Mom. Mom, appreciate you for always supporting us. And
she's the P1, y'all. She's the P1.
She is. Oh, shout out to Don Burr. Well, kind of a shout out. Just letting you know that I'm never gonna post all your comments. I'm never gonna post all your comments.
We're always in for a good debate. We're always in for a good debate. Yeah, get him on the show. Let's have a debate.
Well, get him.
I'll debate his ass.
Well, I'm never gonna post all your comments, dog.
I'll debate him
because some of those are really Debbie Downer comments. I'm just not gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we appreciate you for watching. Thank you for coming. Yeah, I'm done. Y'all got anything else? My last words.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
And
what if I wanted to put that one?
You are out of here. This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes.